Welcome to the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship presented by Monster Energy. World RX is back for a brand new season and with a very different feel to the grid. New teams, a driver lineup that includes hardened rallycross warriors and hungry new blood with no respect for reputation. 2019 is all geared up for a return to the unpredictable, unforgiving racing that only rallycross can provide. This could be the most open World Championship for many a year, and it all kicks off here at the impressive Yas Marina circuit in the heart of the United Arab Emirates, with World RX racing under lights for the very first time. This year the championship will travel to 10 countries in 4 continents, including a World RX debut at the famous Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium, a return to Silverstone as part of the Speed Machine weekend, the classic tracks of Hell, Hollius and Loiak, and the season finale once again in South Africa. Without the presence of Johan Christophersen, the dominant force in the last 2 World Rallycross seasons, or indeed any of the previous world champions, a new king must be crowned this year, and the list of possible successors is long. First up, the brand new Team Monster Energy RX cartel, boasting a lineup who are no strangers to rallycross or each other. Liam Doran and Andreas Backwood have been teammates in the past, so no bedding in required. Doran is a formidable and uncompromising competitor, as fast as anyone given the tools, while Backwood is the most winning driver on the current grid, with 6 victories to his name. Surely a World RX champion in waiting.
I've been in the sport for quite a few years now. Even though I'm only 27, I'm one of the most experienced drivers. I think this year is going to be unique from every other year. We have so many privateers, we have so many young talents coming up. I think there will be plenty of good battles throughout the whole year, and starting it off here in Abu Dhabi will be absolutely mega, because this track looks insane. Loads of overtaking possibilities, proper rallycross.
No World RX grid would be complete without the rallycross royalty that is the Hansen family. Team Hansen MJP boast multiple race winner Timmy and younger brother Kevin, both in equal machines for the first time ever. Could this be the year to emerge from Big Brother's shadow?
Timmy was a long time with Peugeot and had always the latest update, and I came in 2017 in a year-old car, and I've never had 100% equal material, so now finally, we have a good package and a great team.
I know how fast Kevin is. He's beating me, I'm beating him when we practice at home on the ice and stuff. I know how extremely talented he is. If Kevin will be world champion this year, it's gonna be, I'm gonna see my little brother be world champion, and I will be so proud. Of course, I want to be world champion myself.
We will race 100% and we know what we both will do. That's the advantage of having a brother as a teammate. Now, the world champion spot is open and we want to go for that.
With last year being the debut season for GC competition, everything was new at every circuit. A stable driver lineup should make the learning curve less steep this year. Gulan Schiesserit leads the team and has plenty of backup in former Euro RX champ Anton Markland, who retains the seat in the second Megane RS RX.
Last year for me was not a new sport, but my first full season, so I need to learn about the track, learn the sport, feel confident. The team was new, the car was brand new, with a lot of innovation, so sometimes was good, sometimes was not good. But we learned a lot from there, and then we are back with a really high expectation this year. I've been doing sports my whole life, and everything I do is for winning. My goal is clearly to be in the final on every race, and let's see how it goes, but I'm here clearly to win, that's for sure.
It could be a case of 4 heads is better than 2. Competing from the same stable of the new GCK Academy team, running 2 hungry young guns climbing the rallycross ladder from highly competitive support classes. Cyril Raymond is a double RX2 champion and finished 3rd in Euro RX last year. Guillaume de Ridder has twice stood on the RX2 championship podium. Underestimate them at your peril. Also looking to hit the ground running are GRX Tanako, returning with the rapid Hyundai i20. Niklas Gronholm and Timo Timozianov pair up once again to try and build on last year's encouraging debut. Gronholm was 2018's most improved driver, and while Tymosyanov hasn't tasted the winner's champagne for a long time, could this be the season for a debut World RX win? The final of our 6 teams is starred, coming into 2019 with a brand new car and high hopes of making the small step in pace needed to run right at the front. Yanis Baumanis continues his successful partnership with the team and will enter all 10 rounds, while the second car will be driven by a number of different drivers during the course of the year, with Paul Tree in the seat for round 1. Along with those 6 teams, Oliver Bennett, Rokas Bakayuska and highly rated Christian Szabo will compete as permanent individual entries, as will Timo Scheider, linking up again with Munich Motorsport. Each round will also feature round-by-round entries. Reigning Euro RX champion Reinis Nitish joining the grid with GRX here in Abu Dhabi. In a season as open as this, could 2019 be the year for an outsider? If you're new to Rallycross, this is how it works. Rallycross, a mixture of racing and rallying, gravel and tarmac. 10 rounds in the championship to crown 1 champion. At each round, we have 4 qualifying heats, 5 cars maximum per race, who battle it out for the top 12 qualifying spots. 2 semi-finals then, the top 3 go through to the final, the bottom 3 are eliminated, where 6 drivers fight it out in the final for the top step of the podium and a win in the World Rallycross Championship. As the teams make the final preparations for the start of the season, let's take a look at what this new Abu Dhabi track has in store for the class of 2019. Yas Marina, the F1 circuit modified to host the World Rallycross Championship. 1.2 kilometre track, anti-clockwise, 60% asphalt, 40% dirt. We ride on board with Tymosyanov as he comes down to turn 1, into the left and then over to the right. Don't hit those curves too hard, they're very high indeed. On the gas again, down towards the hairpin in the stadium section. Important here to be smooth on the exit, high track temperatures, don't roast the tyres. On the gas again, down towards another big stop braking zone. And look here, it's blind into the left and it's blind again to the right. You have to make sure you get right into the apex as the track comes fully back on itself. Onto the dirt and a long sweeping left-hander. Timmy himself saying this left-hander, 5th gear, 145 kilometers an hour, braking with the car unsettled, uphill into the hairpin. Get it rotated again, and then it's on the gas down to the joker lap split. Standard lap goes over the jump. The joker you can see goes right. It's a drop jump on the dirt, flat out down to the merge, and the joker lap will come into your right over the finish line. Going to be some great racing. The first qualifying session of the year at a brand new Rallycross in Abu Dhabi with temperatures of more than 40 degrees Celsius to contend with. Andreas Backer had made the most of being in a familiar car, albeit with a new team. The Norwegian winning easily and taking the first ever heat race victory for Monster Energy RX Cartel. Kevin Hansen got a fantastic start and the whole shot in his race, but was chased hard by Timo Scheider throughout. Cyril Raymond suffered a retirement in his first race as a full-time World RX driver, hitting one of the big Abu Dhabi curbs and breaking his suspension. Kevin Hansen took the flag, going fastest so far, with Scheider close behind. Anton Markham made the start of Q1 with this fantastic move across the grid from slot 5, taking the lead from GRX drivers Nitish and Tymosyanov. Nitish jokered early to try and get past his teammate, but the super committed merge at Yas Marina went the way of the Russian. And then Szabo slipped up the inside of Nitish into turn 3. Markland took the flag. The final race of Q1 saw a great start for Timmy Hansen, avoiding the squabbling going on behind him. The Swede was clearly at one with his early 2018 spec Peugeot 208 and took the fastest time overall in Q1, but with Gronholm in the Hyundai i20 right behind him. On to Q2, the first ever World RX session held under light after dark. GCK Academy pair Guillaume de Ritter and Cyril Raymond were keen to make amends for a bad Q1 and had a great tussle through the first few corners. It wasn't to be though. 1 lap later, Raymond was slowed by an issue. and De Ridder and Paul 3 crossed the finish line a lap early, resulting in penalties for both. Renis Nitish, however, had a fantastic Q2. After beating Bakayuska at the start, he checked out and set a time that was good enough for third overall. The GCK team have worked hard on their starts over the winter, and Markland proved he could make either side of the grid work with another hole shot, this time from pole. Teammate and team boss Gulan Shisharik got caught up in a scrap with Yanis Balmanis, with the result eventually going the way of the Latvian. Markland took a clear win with a great fight behind him. The best race of the day was between the quick guys in Q2. Timmy Hansen took the whole shot while Niklas Gronholm fought hard to hold P2. Backward snuck up into third at the hairpin and then jokered on the very same lap to try and get some clean air, while Gronholm piled the pressure onto Hansen Sr. in the lead. When Gronholm and Kevin Hansen jokered, it became clear that Backward was flying. Timmy responded immediately by jokering to defend the lead, and it was close. No more passes were made, but it was clear this year is going to see some great fights. First blood, though, to Timmy Hansen, winning Q1 and Q2 to be the overnight top qualifier.
After everything that's happened through the winter, to get a start like this is more than we could have hoped for. So everything has been running perfectly. The car feels great. The team are working so hard and have worked so hard to come here, and for everything to flow this well as it's done today, it's amazing.
Confirmation of the result then, Timmy Hansen winning both sessions to take the overnight top qualifier from Andreas Backward and Kevin Hansen. Gronholm, Markland, Scheider, Nitish and Balmanis the top 8. Currently Bakayuska, Shisharik, Timazyanov and Sabo just inside the cut. Everyone else with work to do if they want to make the semi-finals. So big news then, Saturday morning, Oliver Bennett's team have been working all through the night to try and fix a problem on the Mini. You can see they're still working now. Neil Cole is down there. Let's see if we can find out whether or not they're going to make it to Q3.
So, Ollie, we can see that the team are still working very hard. Tell us what happened last night.
Yeah, so I guess what I can say is every driver's worst nightmare. Just sat on the dummy grid just to go for the start, and adrenaline's pumping. I was ready to race. I had a really good Q1, so I was really excited to get going. And then yeah, just turned the car on. It sounded a bit strange when it turned on, and I was like, a bit weird. Put my foot down, and nothing happened. No response from anything. So I quickly just switched it off. I thought, well, it's a computer. Let's turn it all off, turn it back on, and off we'll go racing. And tried that twice, nothing happened. So obviously we're past the pit board at this point where the mechanics can't touch it. So the decision was made, we probably can't race at this point. So we quickly got the guys over, whipped the bonnet off. They tried to reconnect some wires, do what you can with your hands, but the engine's boiling hot. What can you do? So yeah, it's probably the most frustrating thing I've ever had, really. Just sat on the line, I had to get out and watch the grid I should have been in go. So bit gutted, really, but yeah.
And then tell us exactly what the problem was and how it's been fixed overnight.
Yeah, so we initially thought the throttle pedal, but the guys can test that quite easy. We could see on the dash it was working, so that was fine. Then we just went down a trail of things, really. The wire between, tested the wire, everything fine. Then you're onto the thing, what we call a throttle body. So it's like a flap opens a valve for the throttle. This will be it then. So we got a new one, checked that. Didn't work on the car, worked on the bench. So again, they spent 5 hours last night. I went back to the hotel, obviously thinking, well, my day's over, and just, night out, just, yeah, what can I do? And texting through the night, trying to sort of problem solve, really, is what I could put it for 5 hours. And really nothing was telling the answer. And what you have in these cars, which you guys will have in road cars, in race cars as well, is what's called an ECU. So it's like a motherboard, a bit like a computer that controls everything. They very, very, very rarely go wrong. So for it to go wrong is a disaster, really. And we rang Motec, who supplies this ECU, and they were like, yeah, if the ECU is damaged, unless you've got a new one, really, it is game over. So yeah, I guess I was about 2-3 p.m. last night thinking my weekend was over. So
now you are going to be racing in Q3 and everything is fixed. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. I mean, the guy who's our data engineer, Gaston, he pulled apart the ECU, which anyone who knows about them is very complex to do, and everything can go wrong then. And I think they played around till about 5 a.m. I just had a video message through them just celebrating in front of the car that, he got his wires in there and somehow magicked it back together. So we've been out for practice. The car ran, everything worked. I gave it maximum throttle just to be sure, but yeah, I'm amazed. The team done an amazing job. So
well done to the team and good luck for the rest of the day.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Hello from Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi. My name's Andrew Coley. Joining me on commentary duty, Rallycross driver Dan Rook, with Neil Cole reporting from the paddock. Timmy Hansen leads, having won both the sessions so far from Bakrud. His brother Kevin Hansen, Gronholm, Markland, Scheider, Nitish and Baumanis in the top 8. But of course it's about the top 12. Bakuska, Shishrit, Sabo and Timozyanov are currently in. Everyone else looking for a place. Early races of Q3, those who had trouble yesterday. Bennett's team staying up all night to fix an ECU issue on the car. He rewarded them by leading early on in the race, but unfortunately then rolled the Mini hard. Guillaume de Ridder and Paul Tree continued to race, and it was de Ridder who came out in front. On to race 2, Timo Scheider on the inside. A little bit of contact between him and Timozyanov on the run down into the first corner, and then Liam Doran into the back of Scheider on the run into the chicane at the back of the track. So lots of contact costing time, but Timo taking the win.
Right then, Q3, race 3, let's do this. Kevin Hansen on the inside, so fast in Q1, yesterday's 3rd overall after Q2. Rokas Bakiuska, 2nd on the grid. Then Baumanis, Gulan Shishrit and Christian Sabo. New tyres for a couple of the guys, so Shishrit and Baumanis taking new tyres on the outside. So Dan, that says they're looking for performance, whereas a couple of the guys in the previous race ran them on the inside, which says they're looking to scrub them in. So plenty of tyre tactics going on. Let's see what happens in this one. 5 very quick drivers about to send it down into turn 1. Here we go. Oh, bad start for Shishrit. He drops back Bakuska as well, so it's Baumanis versus Kevin Hansen on the run down to turn 1. Sabo up the inside of Baumanis. Thinks better of it. Kevin Hansen defensive. Kevin went defensive yesterday against Scheider up into turn 3, and he does again. So Kevin defensive. Everybody on that inside line. Kevin Hansen now round and on the gas towards the outside of the track. Kevin Hansen with a clear and clean hole shot.
Yeah, smart moves there from Kevin Hansen just to keep himself out in front and not have the traffic in front of him. Covering off his lines and able to get out away in front.
So Baumanis, you can see Baumanis' car pitching around just a little bit more. I must say the new start car looks absolutely stunning, but he's having to defend now hard from Sabo. And onto the back of the pack already is Bakuska. So Bakuska in the Skoda is right up in the back of them. Kevin off the drop-off. That's a hard drop-off there as well for Baumanis. So Baumanis' car not looking the most stable out there at the moment, Dan.
No, maybe it could be running slightly too soft. You know, we're seeing hard impacts coming off of the jump, and it's rolling around a lot. So you've got to be careful here not to pitch it too hard off the jump and cause some damage.
I think he's holding Sabo up a little bit. You can see at the exit there, it doesn't look like he is, but Sabo looks like he might have more pace in terms of corner speed, but can't find any air. So Sabo really, I think, needs to consider Joker now.
Yeah, so he can go into the Joker now, especially because we have Golan Shishrit have a bad start, and I can see out the commentary position here, he's going around quite slowly, so Sabo could break away into clean air here and try and catch down Kevin in the end.
So Sabo does go Joker, exactly what we thought he would. Bakuska behind him hasn't jokered, so only Shishrit has jokered. Shishrit, as Dan said, is circulating relatively slowly, so Kevin Hansen from Baumanis, Bakuska and then Sabo. So how many cars do you think Sabo can make up? Yesterday we saw Bakrud, didn't we? Disappeared off into the Joker earlier and hammered in a couple of great laps to make it up.
Yeah, so I mean, we know that this Audi has the pace, so he's got that little bit of clear air in front of him now, and he's got somebody to chase. That's the important thing. He's got someone in front of him that when he sees them brake, he knows he can brake that little bit extra and things like that. So he's really going to be laying down the hammer.
It's always nice, isn't it, or kind of easier to chase than it is to be chased. You know, you're watching your mirrors, you get distracted by what they're doing. Are they trying to make a pass? No such problems for Kevin. And Kevin as well, a long way over to the side as we see into the Joker goes Baumanis. So Sabo then was up behind Baumanis, and I think this is going to give an indicator of the fact he was a little bit quicker. Baumanis responding. I think Baumanis went there because he knew Sabo was quick, but Sabo's got the job done. Good job.
Yeah, Baumanis had to go then to stand any chance of trying not to let Sabo have the overlap, but Sabo put in a real clean lap there and managed to edge himself in front of Baumanis.
Big braking zone into that chicane where we saw Oliver Bennett roll just a few minutes ago. Kevin Hansen untroubled out front. What did Kevin do yesterday? P2 and P6. His fastest time was a 3:06.9. Fastest time of the day was a 3:06.4. So what's he going to do this time? Into the Joker lap goes Kevin Hansen. Right and then left, he's going to keep it tidy in the background. Everybody else squabbling, but Hansen way out in front, and he stops the clocks at 3:06.9, so he does the almost exact same time. We're talking a couple of hundredths difference to what Kevin Hansen did yesterday, so Great job by Hansen Jr. We've kind of got Hansen Jr. and Hansen Jr., haven't we, with Timmy and Kevin, compared to Kenneth, of course, their legendary dad. But brilliant and untroubled drive by Kevin Hansen. Christian Sabo took second. Here you go, confirmation of the result, 3:06.9. Sabo in P2 from Balmanis, Bachuska and Shisharit. Shisharit with an issue, bad start, and then not a great run. But these four guys slotting into the top five. Timozyanov, who was quickest, is now fourth. So Sabo, I think, could have gone a little bit quicker. So this is suggesting Sabo's on a very similar pace to Bakarud. Take us through this start, Dan.
Yeah, so unfortunately there we can see the GCK car not quite getting the advantage, but Szabo making the wise decision to come from the outside, cut back on the inside to try and find a space for himself. He didn't want to get hung out to dry.
And these guys, although there's a tiny bit of touching in there, nowhere near as much contact as we saw in the previous race, and that's what costs you time. And of course for Kevin, out front, none of those issues at all.
No, of course, and you know, these guys have all got lots of racing experience. They know to not get into the back of one another or else they're going to be losing time.
So Kevin with two good runs yesterday. The time that he did on this one was good enough for second in Q1. What will it be good enough for this time?
Kevin, quickest so far today. That would seem to have been almost the perfect race for you.
Yeah, from outside, I think it was looking really good. I didn't have any spotter on the radio. We had some problem. Somebody or something was pushing the buttons. I could not hear my spotter for the complete run. And normally I like a big push on the radio. So I had to manage. I think you need to handle all situations. It will become many times like this during a season. So this run was really good. I think I did what I could. So let's see how it holds up for my brother.
Well, impressive to do it without a spotter. Well done.
Thank you.
Final race then of Q3. We're on to the fast guys. Look at that. That's the run down to turn one for this lot. Timmy Hansen on the inside from Andreas Bakarud, Rainis Nitish, Niklas Gronholm and Anton Markland. That is the who's who of the Rallycross youngsters who are coming through. Two new boots for Anton on the outside. You can see where these guys are. Rainis is the lowest in seventh, and that was because he had a puncture yesterday, which delayed him very slightly. But P1 and P2 after the first two qualifying sessions, Hansen and Bakarud. Looking at your feedback on social media, I think these are two of the guys that you think are the favourites for the World Championship. Let's see who wins the race down to turn one, and indeed who's going to put themselves on pole for the semi-finals, and maybe even take the first win of the year here at Yas Marina. Very even start across the grid, you can't separate them at all. Five in a line, Markland backs out first of all. Hansen late in the break, trying to go around the outside. Niklas Gronholm, oh, two wheels for Markland, clips the curve a little bit too much. Out turn one, Hansen, backwards going to get P2, Gronholm slots in and Nitish has to drop into fourth.
Unlucky there for Markland. I thought he made such a wise move to get himself out from the outside, tuck in and try and find a gap, but he just got squeezed there and touched those orange curves we saw Ollie flip himself on earlier and just dropped him back.
So Timmy leading from Andreas. Andreas now needs to apply some pressure, doesn't he, and decide, does he go Joker, get himself some space? Dan, when you're up against five quick guys like this, you can Joker first if you want, and he's in the prime position to Joker first because no one will choose to in front of him.
No, and he is not going to be held up. So as we see Niklas Gronholm in the background go for the Joker lap. So
Hansen sideways on that jump landing. So the jump landing unsettles Hansen's 208. The Audi is right up underneath him. Andreas entirely under the rear wing. This is great news for Gronholm. So Gronholm now, the car in front of him is Rainis Nitish.
Timmy Hansen is going to be feeling the pressure. You can see Andreas is looking left, right, all over, trying to find a gap to get past him.
Oh, Andreas so late on the brakes. You can see the dust flying up. Dry conditions here in Abu Dhabi. The tarmac is fairly dirty most of the way round, especially when they're dragging the dirt off the dirt sections as well. Hansen and Bakarud up to the hairpin. Both, though, taking the standard line. And interesting is that Bakarud chose not to use the tactical Joker on lap one and disappear off. He wants to follow Hansen. So what in the background can Gronholm do to close that gap down into the Joker? Bakarud's gone, so Bakarud goes Joker this time. Hansen not so sideways on the landing. And Gronholm, is he going to get him? Gronholm at the inside of Bakarud. Bakarud trying to come round, shuts the door. Great job by Bakarud squad.
You can just see how much more speed these guys carry off the Joker lap, and Andreas, especially coming from a wider line, was able to just carry the momentum into turn one.
One more lap and Gronholm would have got him. You've kind of got to respond. If somebody quick goes, you're going to have to go next lap because the lap is long enough to make some time up.
Exactly, and with Niklas having clean air as well, he was just able to fully push whilst Bakarud was being held up maybe by Timmy Hansen.
Hansen looking at the gap. 3.7 to Bakarud. It would be incredibly close, look. 87 thousandths. in between them if he were to joker now, and he does. So Hansen goes joker now. Hansen has gone to respond. Nitish goes with him. This is the merge for the win. Remember, there's another lap to go, but it's going to be hard to pass. Oh, he's flat out. Backward. Oh, massive contact. Backward into the side of Timmy. I think that's way too hard for Andreas Backward, I have to say. Massive damage to the side of the Peugeot. The Peugeot is damaged and is crawling around. That was a huge hit from Andreas Backward, who's parked at the side of the road. I hope they're both okay. Timmy Hansen continues round in the Peugeot, but that was incredibly hard into the side of the car. Andreas Backward climbing from the car. I think he's okay. Timmy Hansen is on a bit of a go-slow on the far side of the circuit. The whole of the pack are up underneath him. Look at the left-hand side of the car. That merge was incredibly quick, Dan.
It's just so fast on the merge here. I think a little bit naughty there from Andreas. You should have seen him, should have known he was coming, should have been a call on the radio from the spotter, so maybe he could have been a bit more cautious.
Bit of contact up at the hairpin. Somebody's in the wall up there, so Timmy Hansen's going to take it from Niklas Gronholm. Oh my God, Backward's car still in the way. Okay, so they avoid the car at the finish line. Nitish still to cross the line. Nitish was the one who got caught out up at the hairpin. He's going to come down across the line now. Backward is out of the car and standing, there he is, bent over in the centre. So Andreas Backward, look, it's maybe not fair for us to call it from here. It was a very, very hard contact between the two of them. They're two drivers pushing as hard as they can. Hansen takes it, but the time is slow because of the damage to the car. 3:11.3. Niklas Gronholm with a 3:11.5, and then Mark, and you can see, look, the times are not there. Kevin Hansen wins the qualifying session. So Kevin Hansen wins Q3 here in Abu Dhabi, and we have question marks, I think, over whether Backward and Timmy Hansen will be able to continue. That contact was so heavy that I wonder if Timmy Hansen's roll cage will be damaged. Let's see. So much going on. Right, let's take another look back at this. We all know the incident we need to see, but talking about the start, first of all, Hansen, look, Gronholm tries to come around the outside. Oh, yeah, Markin didn't have anywhere to go and just ends up clipping the curb on the inside. So he drops back. Now, I thought Backward might joker early, but he chose to follow Timmy, and you can see the pace of the two of them is extraordinarily close. And it was Gronholm who, in fact, went to the joker first. There he goes. So Gronholm puts in a good lap. Timmy a little bit sideways at this point. And then it was Backward, wasn't it, who jokers on the next lap. So there's Backward coming out. He just gets, so that's the merge there. And you can see Niklas has retarded the speed of the car because he has to make turn one. Yeah. He wants to defend, but he's taken the speed off. Now, contrast that with what happens here. So Timmy is on the joker lap, and Andreas is about to come through on the standard lap. So here's Backward over the jump, Dan.
Yeah, so, you can see the pace that both of them have got. Maybe he should have been on the, he's coming in super hot, super hot. He was never going to make turn one at that speed. Never.
That's my feelings too, unfortunately. So Timmy there with a big impact in the side of the car. Backward parked at the side of the road. I understand he wanted to defend the position, but it just the trajectory and the speed of the car, can't see would have made it. But there we go, there's another look at it. Yeah, it's a big hit. It's a big hit. Well, most importantly, hoping Timmy Hansen and Andreas Backward are okay. Nothing else matters. That's the most important thing here. But Kevin Hansen wins the session. At the top of the table, Timmy Hansen still there despite the issue, but will that car be fit to return for Q4? Kevin Hansen, his brother, in P2. Niklas Gronholm is up to third. Baumanis, Sabo, Scheider. Backward drops from P2 to P7, but is the car even fixable? Timazyanov is in 8th. Bottom end of the board, Bachuska. Markland, Nitish and Shisharit are in at the minute. Doran, Raymond, Paul Tree, Guillaume de Ridder are out, along with Ollie Bennett, who of course has rolled his car as well. So high drama in Q3. Brand new season of the FIA World Rallycross Championship and a brand new circuit to kick things off. This is the Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi. Dan Rook, first of all, we've got these big curbs, and that's going to discourage the drivers from cutting the corners.
Yeah, I mean, we can see here Scheider was pinpoint accurate there to just avoid that big orange curb. We saw a few guys in practice taking some tyres off the rims by getting a bit greedy, so they've got to be super careful around here.
So this is the first curb which we designed then that rallycross drivers won't just drive over.
Yeah, there seems to be not much that stops them, but you can just see the size of this one when you look at it compared to the side of Andreas's car there. You can see how big it is, and there's not much of a you know, it's quite a sudden impact if you were to hit it.
So Bakkerud here, we know, was running wets, of course, because he was saving tyres because it's so hot here. And the car, you can see, just isn't quite so sharp. Obviously, the wets are designed for wet conditions, not for the dry. But tactics, clever stuff from the drivers.
Yeah, really good stuff to use the wets just to learn the track. Obviously, it's a new circuit. Oh, see here, Scheider just touching that orange curb, leaving a bit of rubber on the track there. But yeah, we see over the jump.
Kevin Hansen. So Kevin Hansen is kind of a drop-off jump, isn't it? They've reprofiled it since the launch day here, but they can hit it in 5th gear down.
Yeah, super fast. You know, we can see there that it's not a lot of impact. You know, it does unsettle the car because they're landing onto gravel and it comes into like a right-hand corner, but thankfully for them, there's a dry line come through and there's grip there as well.
Yeah, there's some loose gravel either side. Watch Markland coming over. Brand new dampers on this car, the Bilsteins, which you can see the colours of on both his and Shishirit's car. Squashing it nicely. Just one bump and squat, and that's what you want from the car.
Yeah, super setup on the new suspension they've got on that car. It just completely settled, and he was able to get the power down for the next straight.
Rainis Nitish, of course, driving this year in selected events for Gronholm RX in the I-20. That was a shot of him heading into the Joker, and this is Liam Doran, Monster Energy RX Cartel, with a tiny nip on the handbrake there to get the car rotating down.
Yeah, just a tiny bit of rotation. It's quite a steep uphill hairpin, that corner, so the guys have to really use the weight of the car to get it to turn in, otherwise they might end up just pushing on.
And this next right-hander that Liam's about to go into, slightly off camber, particularly if you're heading in towards the Joker, and you can see how early he's tried to get the car turned in.
Yeah, the car's really pitched over, and he had to get the nose in tight, otherwise he'd sweep out too wide.
Gulan Shishirit in the Megane. What can they do this year? Development work on that car, and it's been going well here so far. Fantastic new circuit. The drivers are absolutely loving it. There's just one qualifying session to go at Yas Marina at the minute. Timmy Hansen top of the table, but with that car badly damaged, he won't be back out for this one. Kevin Hansen second. Gronholm, Baumanis, Sabo, Scheider, Bakkerud and Timers Yarnov are the top 8. Bakuska, Markland, Nitish and Shishirit currently in. Everybody else looking to make that one step up. So is Bakkerud going to make it or not? What are the stewards going to have to say? What are we seeing on the screen? Reprimand, car number 33, steward's decision. Who's 33? Doran.
So
why is Liam given a
Scheider a contact?
Okay, fair enough. So Doran's been given a reprimand. Bakkerud trying to make his way to the grid. Well, unbelievable. Andreas Bakkerud is going to make it to the grid with seconds to spare. We must have had retirements because we did have 5, 5, 4 and 3 on the grids, and we've got 5 lining up now. So I'm guessing Bennett isn't coming back out, possibly somebody else. Either way, the story is Bakkerud unbelievably has made it to the grid. Is that car going to last in this heat here in Abu Dhabi? Anton Markland on the inside, Paul Tree next to him, Gulan Shishirit, Rainis Nitish, and unbelievably, Andreas Bakkerud, P7 after Q3. I think he needs to finish this one if he's going to make it. Let's see, here we go. Monster Energy girls leaving the grid, the marshals are too. The question mark, Dan, is Bakkerud going to be able to leave the grid? He's driven up there, but that's not firing 600 horsepower through.
No, exactly, and he didn't even do a dummy launch, so we don't even know how he's going to go off the line here.
So we're here in 3 5-car races. We've had a couple of retirements in the very short gap between Q3 and Q4. Bakkerud rolls off the line, problems for him big time. Paul Tree gets squeezed by Markland, contact there on the outside as well. So Shishirit with a bit of contact. And as Paul Tree drops down to the back, Nitish is in P3 and it's a 1-2 for Shishirit and Markland at the minute with Markland out front.
Good to see a good start from the GCK cars. You know, we know they've been struggling, so finally getting it off the line here in round 1 after some winter development, they're going to be pleased with that.
So here then, for me, the race here is for Bakkerud to finish 4 laps before he gets lapped. If he gets lapped down, it's a DNF. So he has got to get round. Andreas Bakkerud is at the far side of the circuit with All sorts of things pouring off the car. He's got to make it round. There he is in the background of your shot. He's already a long way back. If Bakkerud gets lapped, it will be a DNF, and he may not make the semi-finals. All that work may have been for nothing. But at the minute, Markland leads from his teammate, team boss, team owner, Gulan Shisharit. Paul Tree is on a bit of a flyer, and Reinis Nitish has gone joker early. So Nitish at the back of the pack has gone joker early, as you're looking at Andreas Bakkerud, who jokers on lap 1. So Bakkerud coming down towards the first corner, locks a wheel at the back. I wonder if they haven't had time to bleed those brakes down.
Yeah, definitely interesting there. I can see from the commentary position there's so much smoke pouring off of his car, so all sorts going on there.
Markland flinging the McGann around in the background. Bakkerud is already 15.5 seconds down.
I'm a bit concerned for Reinis here. He's jokered on lap 1 and he could be stuck behind Paul Tree here. Obviously, he's now in the first heat with the slightly slower of the group from Q3, so he's going to be counting on Paul Tree to go the joker.
And he hasn't, so Paul Tree does run wide. Nitish will look for a gap, or at least a run in him on the brakes down into the first corner. The Latvian can't do it from there. We know the I-20 is quick. 3 of the 4 were in the top 4. Sorry, all 3 were in the top 4 during free practice this morning. Nitish up the inside of Paul Tree. Nicely done, Reinis Nitish, reigning European Rallycross champion, and that is why.
Yeah, he had to get that done. He knew he was being held up slightly, and he just had to get himself past so he can start trying to bring back the gap to the GCK McGanns.
Nitish through the chicane will now try and close it down. He would like to make up a few places in the overall standings. Markland through the left, and then the right. Markland doing ever so well here in the McGann. Good to see him on form. Markland goes joker, so Markland's gone joker early, and this will probably be to protect himself from Nitish. Nitish versus Markland at the merge. Markland slots in behind Shisharit. He's clearly in front.
Superb job there from Markland and his team spotting him. They knew he had to get in the joker now because Reinis had clear air, so he had to get in and out and get the job done.
So Shisharit, I think, will... Bakkerud has Bakkerud been lapped already? Yes, he has. I think Bakkerud's been lapped already down. Paul Tree's pulled over, and what's happened to Nitish? What's happened there? Down the turn 1. So we were seeing Bakkerud, and what's happened to Nitish? Was there contact with Paul Tree? So Nitish is retiring. Paul Tree runs wide in the chicane. It's all happening. Paul Tree's on the grass. You're looking at Markland and Shisharit out front. All sorts going on in the background. We're trying to keep one eye on Andreas Bakkerud as well, as I say, to see whether he gets a finish or not. Markland takes the win. Shisharit's just come past the commentary position and has a misfire. So Gulan Shisharit has a misfire on the McGann. And Paul Tree, who was in all sorts of trouble just a few moments ago, with Andreas Bakkerud behind him. So Bakkerud, is Bakkerud shown on 3 laps? He is.
So I just saw Andreas from the commentary position come over the jump, and he had a hard landing, and his
front right corner is off Bakkerud's car.
Is off again, so he's managed to just crawl over the line, so he'll have a finish time, but that's not good news.
So Markland with the win, Bakkerud with a broken car again. Markland taking it with a 3:07.8 from Shisharit. Paul Tree, Andreas Bakkerud, Reinis Nitish unfortunately with a DNF, and that is going to turn the top 12 on its head. Bakkerud was in there, Nitish was in there. You're going to have to wait to the end of the session to find out who's going to make it through. Bakkerud does get a finish though, and getting that finish will mean that he'll get some qualifying points, and that might be enough to drag him into the semis. So there was Andreas Bakkerud, superstar off the line. He just had one job to do, Dan.
Yeah, he knew he had to get the finish, so he wasn't classed as a DNS, so that hopefully he's going to just score enough points to call himself into the semi-finals.
Markland leading from Shisharit. You heard the engine note on Shisharit's car as well when he came past. Passes underneath us now. Have to say Shisharit's car sounds okay as he goes back towards the paddock at the end of the first race in Q4. This is Nitish and Paul Tree. That was where Nitish passed Paul Tree, but they had a problem at the same place on the next lap, and Nitish retired. So it is Markland who takes it, but Bakkerud, can he drag himself into the semis?
Well, Anton, it must have been quite difficult to keep your composure as the race was delayed and then you had to start, but a good result.
Yeah, I mean, once again, we were first out of turn 1, which is crucial for the time in the end. And after that, Megane RS-RX was working perfectly fine. I was really happy with the handling on the track, and now I just really hope that we have a good position for the semi-finals, because I feel we're on fire, and I hope we can do a real good result here.
Well, I don't know what's happened today, but it's quite chaotic out there. There's mistakes, big accidents. I guess if you just keep composed, you can have a really good result today.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about trying to keep out of collisions all the time. unfortunately, I was a bit in collisions in Q3 together with Nittis. He was playing it really, really smart. On the second last corner, he tried to go around all of us when Timmy was slow. And when he came in, we touched front wheel to front wheel, and I lost my steering wheel. It went full steering to the right, and both went into the tire wall. And it was, seriously, it was really bad. It was not on purpose from my side. We lost both of us, and but I'm really sorry for Rainis in that situation, and I just hope that both of us can come through to the semifinals.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Right, we are ready to go for the next one. Q4, race 2. Timo Scheider on the inside. Next to him, the very rapid Niklas Grono, who was 3rd overall after Q3. Liam Doran, 13th, needs to make it into the semis. Could well do that now with problems for those ahead of him. Cyril Raymond and Guillaume de Ridder on the outside for GCK Academy. So problems for the Academy drivers on this first weekend. It's a lot to ask to step up to a supercar. What can they do here against some slightly more experienced drivers? Gronholm, the most improved last year, and has been putting on a hell of a show here this weekend, but not the best start for him. On the inside, Scheider's slightly beaten away from the line. Cyril Raymond goes across from the outside to the inside, so does Guillaume de Ridder. Cyril Raymond might make it up into P2 here. He just slots back Doran, has to avoid him. Doran with a huge sideways move. De Ridder has a look round the inside. Liam looks up the inside. Can't get it done though. Timo Scheider leads from Gronholm.
Fantastic moves there from Cyril. Got himself out of the trouble of the outside of the grid, tucked himself in and kept it tight around those first 2 corners, found a gap, and then was just able to launch around the outside, up the inside for the hairpin.
So Scheider leading. Fantastic peddler, isn't he, Scheider? You know, done so many different things. GT racing last year, done DTM before, but he really loves rallycross, Dan.
He's super, super precise. He's so accurate when you watch him. It's just pinpoint perfect, just like you know, all the other circuit drivers have had along. Johan Gustafsson, Matthias Ekström, their car control is sublime.
Has he got a say underneath him this year that can allow him to have a charge at the world title? Guillaume de Ridder has jokered. You might have seen in the background that he was really, really sideways in the Clio. So he made a mistake possibly on the entry to the Joker lap. It's off camber, the entry to the Joker, Dan, really hard. Yeah, very hard. Of course, when you're on off camber, the whole weight of the car is trying to throw you off your ideal line. So you've got to keep it really, you've got to be really patient, keep yourself under, you know, supreme discipline and get yourself into that Joker lap properly. Scheider comes through that right-hander where the split is, and at the back of the pack. Liam Doran has gone in the Joker, so Doran into the Joker now, comes through that super quick left-hander to come back up, and then on the brakes, he's going to be ahead of de Ridder. Gronholm can't find a way past, can he? No, he's all over the back of Timo Scheider, but I was just going to say, Cyril Raymond doing a fantastic job to keep with these guys as well, of course. His first event with the GCK Academy team, and, you know, they're not losing it. How big is the step up? Obviously, Euros is huge, and we've got drivers like Markland and Nittish who are well up for world, but Cyril Raymond has come up from RX2 into Supercar, did really well. You know, he's challenging. I think he took a win, didn't he, last year? Didn't he win at home at Loiac in Euro RX? So he's a rapid driver, but this is full-time World Championship. Yeah, the pressure that these guys are going to be feeling, although, you know, their team boss has said don't feel any pressure, is so much easier said than done, because these guys will want to impress. Yeah, I mean, they'll be thinking, obviously, it's not one chance as in one event. I mean, Shishree did actually say he's hoping the programme continues for years. So in theory, they've got that, but they will know, won't they, if they have an absolutely shocking season, it's maybe not going to last. Yeah, so, you know, these guys are, it's going to be hard for them to discipline themselves, to keep themselves fully calm every race, every step of the way. Niklas Gronholm out front. Scheider jokered the previous lap. Gronholm's going to joker on the last one. It's going to come down to who's managed to do the quick laps when somebody isn't in front of them. Gronholm rotates the car beautifully, slots to the right. Perfect timing from him. Scheider on the inside, going to be a super close merge again. So Scheider coming up to the finish line. He's going to slide across just in front of Niklas Gronholm. So he just makes it to take the win. Scheider has done a 3:07.8. But, oh, my goodness me, he's beaten Markland by 16 thousandths of a second, it looks like to me. Wow. It is super close between these guys. You can see the loose gravel down there as well, a couple of holes appearing. Liam Doran on a go slow. So all sorts of problems for the Monster Energy RX cartel. What can you see, Dan?
I think I could see from the commentary position a front right puncher. I'm not too sure, but you know, the front wheel looks quite deflated there.
Here's the result then. Timo Scheider takes it from Niklas Gronholm, Cyril Raymond, Guillaume de Ridder and Liam Doran. And Scheider slots in. Have a look at those times at the top. 16 thousandths of a second between Timo Scheider and Anton Markland. It is super close. And it's Gronholm, Raymond. That's a great job by Cyril to get the car right up there. Shishirik de Ridder, Paul Treat. Andreas Backer down in 8th. Wow, going to have to wait until the end of the session to see who's going to make the semis. So this was at the start. Scheider, super level between Scheider, Doran and Gronholm. In the end, it was Scheider who got the whole shot.
Cyril there doing a good job to avoid the squeeze, though, into turn 1. Of course, they're free abreast. There must have been a hole there for someone. Liam there, super sideways. A lot of smoke bellowing off the back of the car. Maybe pushing it too hard, tyres going off. It is super hot on the surface here. You know, they could be really challenging them.
Neil Cole is down with our race winner, Timo Scheider.
So, Timo, the racing is incredibly tight here. There's like hardly anything between you and Anton Markland at the moment.
Well, in the end, it was a pretty nice fight, I have to say, clean and fair, so that's the most important. So we had now 4 qualifying runs with a decent pace, so now we can focus on the semis.
Very good, thank you, well done.
5 cars then on the line. Final qualifying race of the first round of the 2019 World Rallycross Championship. Kevin Hansen, Christian Sabo, Yanis Baumanis, Timur Timosyanov and Rokas Bachuska. 2 new tyres on the outside for Baumanis, on the inside for Timosyanov. 5 different cars, 5 different teams. Right, here we go. This is it for qualifying. The marshal gives the final thumbs up. This is going to decide the top 12. Remember, the top 16 gets points. Only the top 12 go through to the semi-finals. And then we get to see who's going to fight it out for the win. Brilliant start, Kevin Hansen. Sabo goes slightly backwards in the middle. Baumanis is going to try and move across, but I think Hansen's got it. Sabo sensible on the brakes. Baumanis gives a squeeze on Sabo. Timosyanov might try and get up the inside, but Sabo's going to hold the inside line on the run down into turn 3. Kevin Hansen has it. Bachuska at the back of the pack.
The dream start here for Kevin Hansen. He could be potentially on his way to his first TQ, and he is not going to be wanting to see much challenge on the back of him. He's going to want a clean race and a clean tyre.
It was looking, wasn't it, like it was between him, Andreas and Timmy, and with Andreas and Timmy having their problems, Kevin Hansen looking, he might take his first ever top qualifier spot in the World Rallycross Championship. Might he take his first ever win? Remember, the only 3 people who've won events here in the World Championship have been Nitish, Backward and Hansen's definitely gone. We don't know if Backward's made the semis or Nitish. Might be that nobody makes the semis who's won an event before.
We could see a brand new winner of a FIA World Rallycross Championship round, and it could be in the form of one of these guys in this final heat race. Kevin
Hansen would absolutely love it. That would make up somewhat with Timmy for a rotten weekend. Timmy Hansen a bit sore, and say the car definitely going no further this weekend. Sabo has jokered, so's Bachuska. Kevin being chased hard by Baumanis. Brand new car for Baumanis, looks like it's going really well.
Yeah, fantastic evolution for the Star team. They've really taken a step up this year. You can see how much closer they are to the Peugeots and the Hyundais, so fantastic job by them.
Kevin's slightly ragged in the hairpin, Dan. He's having a really big push. Obviously, definitely wants to take this TQ. Baumanis is on Joker now. That may be to protect from behind if they think that Sabo is gaining on them. But Kevin, yeah, a little bit ragged up in the hairpin.
Oh, it's super close. Oh, Sabo nearly ran too deep on the brakes there, and you see Baumanis just managed to get in front of him. So fantastic job by the Star team.
Yeah, good spotting from them to get Baumanis in early enough to protect that position. So now it's about Kevin Hansen and Timosyanov. Also, can Baumanis make up any time? Is Kevin overdriving to the point where he's losing time? I doubt it. He's a wily competitor, and he will be well aware of the fact that it could be a first TQ. It would be absolutely massive for him. Kevin Hansen up into the hairpin.
We know Kevin's a super smooth driver. Of course, he started his rallycross career in actually Suzuki Swifts in the British Rallycross, where he had to be super smooth and get his lines perfect, and that's followed him through all the way through his career.
Kevin goes through into the final lap in the lead from Baumanis, Sabo, Timosyanov. Bachuska's dropped it. So Bachuska drops it on the brakes. He'll rejoin the circuit. So he misjudged that braking point, and it's so hard down because it is completely blind.
Yeah, exactly. And he maybe could have just not realised it. He had 1 more lap to go and just braked too late. Realised everyone else was slowing down and just had to get on that.
Kevin Hansen coming round to complete half a lap that could see him the top qualifier here at the first round. Brand new track, first ever top qualifier here, of course, in Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina. Onto the standard lap, he's going to come up over the jump. The target time is 3:07.8, and he's done it as a 3:06.2. Kevin Hansen, 3:06.2. I think that's the fastest time of the weekend. So we had 3:06.4 twice yesterday from Timmy. Pretty sure that wasn't beaten. So I think Kevin Hansen might have just done the fastest time of the weekend, 3:06.2. So if he was pushing hard, he certainly wasn't losing time. Takes it from Baumanis, who's quick too. Sabo, Timozyanov, Bachuska. Here's where they slot in. Kevin Hansen wins Q4. Then Scheider, Bakker, Baumanis, Gronholm, Sabo, Raymond and Timozyanov are your top 8 in this session. But of course, what you're all looking to see, and we are too, is who are the top 12? Who makes it through to the semi-finals here in Abu Dhabi? Well, the crowd have enjoyed the race again. There's the Bakker Blue and the Rainis Nitish fan club as well. Look, all in the same grandstand. Having a cool drink. I have to say, I could do one of those. I think I'm going to be pouring a bottle of water over my head. Brilliant start then from Kevin Hansen on the inside, Dan. Absolutely perfect. Look how clever Sabo is as well. You know, a very, very wily competitor. So just dropping in behind, ends up losing a position, but no contact, no carnage. No,
you could see that Kevin beside him was got the better start. So he knew if he tucked in behind him, he could maybe create a doorway for himself through the following couple of corners. Oh yeah, they're super close there. I think Zabo maybe running it deep to try and cover off Baumanis, and Baumanis carrying that extra speed from the Joker lap and was just able to get in front, but you know, very lucky there wasn't the contact there.
You can see what I mean about Kevin, about having a big push. You know, he's in fact, if he's gone quickest, fastest time of the weekend, you know, incredible job, but he's a little bit more sideways than we normally see from Kevin. Maximum attack. Bakuska, slightly over maximum attack.
Fantastic there. Lucky to not hit the Armco barrier on the outside. Just managed to get the car rotated and save it.
Kevin Hansen takes the final session. I'm pretty sure he'll be top TQ, top qualifier. He's with Neil Cole now.
So Kevin, that's the quickest time of the weekend, I think. And we're trying to do the maths. We think you might be top qualifier.
That's pretty cool. It was a long time since I was there. I think 2016 back in Barcelona it must have been when I won European Championship. Yeah, nice feeling.
First of all, we just want to ask you how is Timmy after that big impact?
Yeah, I don't want to say too much because I'm quite upset, but he is okay. He has some pain on the left leg, but he's okay, so no need to worry.
Okay, well, good luck in the semis and then hopefully the final.
Yeah, thank you.
And Kevin Hansen does indeed take the top qualifier spot here in Abu Dhabi. He wins Q3 and Q4 after his brother Timmy Hansen, of course, had won the first 2 sessions and then has retired from the weekend. So all 4 sessions going to the Hansen MJP team. Niklas Gronholm in P2. I'm fairly certain that's the highest Gronholm has ever qualified. Scheider in 3rd, Baumanis in 4th. Markland, Sabo, Timozyanov, Rokas Bachuska makes it on his debut in the World Championship. Christian Szabo too. Bakkerad's in. Timmy Hansen has qualified, but we know he won't take part because that car is too badly damaged. So Shishri 11th, Liam Doran is in 12th, but Cyril Raymond will get the jump. It looks like him and Nitish that were tied on points, but Cyril Raymond will have got it, I think, on the tiebreaker. So we'll see either Raymond or Nitish going up into P12 because Timmy Hansen won't make it. Timmy Hansen's car is too badly damaged to continue this weekend. Well, there you go, Abu Dhabi under lights. We are approaching the finishing stages of round 1 of the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship. The sky is beautiful, I have to say, as the sun is setting. Well, the sun has set literally minutes ago. Temperature is down to a pleasant, very high 30s. You can see us at the right-hand end there of the spotters tower. Spotters on the left already. The spotters have been up there for a long time, getting ready for the first semi-finals of the year. We have a brand new TQ man in Kevin Hansen. He's never taken the top qualifier spot. Timo Scheider there. Look, we've got a fantastic semi-final lineup for you. But we are missing 2 of the key protagonists. So take a look back at this from earlier on. This was the incident between Andreas Bakkerud and Timmy Hansen. So on the standard lap, Andreas Bakkerud on the Joker lap, Timmy Hansen, enormous impact. Now, Bakkerud, so you all know, has been and apologised to the Hansens. He said he thought it was the final lap, in which case he is fully entitled to go straight on. We did, oh my goodness me, when you see it like that, the impact is absolutely huge. Timmy's okay, the car not so much, same for Bakkerud. I don't think either driver wanted this. We know that they're potentially two of the favourites for the title. You can see Andreas was hurt too. Nobody's going to hit another car that hard on purpose, Dan Rook. You know, he thought he was going straight on. We did figure that out after our initial reaction to it, which is like, wow, why hasn't he braked? Because, of course, we knew he's on lap 3. He thinks he's on lap 4. You know, this is the way it goes. So we're not going to see Bakkerud or Timmy Hansen in the semi-finals. Neil Cole's down on the grid. I'll come back to Dan Rook in a minute because Neil's managed to grab Gulan Shisharit, and he has got 3 of the 4 GCK cars through to the semis.
So Gulan, the first round of the season, first time racing under lights, first time in the Middle East, and you're in the semi-finals. That's all pretty good.
Actually, I'm not only me. It's 3 cars from GCK in the semi-finals, so it's pretty good. We had some difficult weekend, especially for me and my Q3 and 4. I had some issue with my engine, so I misfired only 3 cylinders and no turbo, so it was quite hard, but you know, we made it. Some luck because bad luck for the other cars, so, but we are there, 3 cars on the semi, so let's see.
And yeah, talk us through a little bit. Obviously, not so lucky for Guillaume de Ridder, but to have 3 cars as a team boss, you must be very happy. Yeah,
I'm really proud, and both cars have been doing quite good. Just a little bit upset with my cars at the moment, but you know, I will fight hard to try to make it to the final, because as I can see at the Q1 when the car was working properly, I could have the good speed. So after everything was complicated and the car didn't work well, but let's be positive, and we have 3 cars and let's do it.
Good luck, bon courage.
Thank you.
Well, Shisharit with 3 cars in, what can they do from there? Track is looking absolutely fantastic, Dan Rook. I have to say, racing under lights, I think, has been really cool. We did it kind of a few years ago in Canada when we had a late schedule, and it looked epic. Fireworks going off on the you know, the famous GP3R bridge. Now we're here at Abu Dhabi. You know, I think it's a pretty cool track.
Yeah, it's awesome under the floodlights, especially because obviously the floodlights here are designed for the Formula 1, so we do have some slightly darker patches on the RX circuit, and you can see the flames from the exhaust, the brake disc glowing, some sparks from the jump, and it's a great spectacle.
Yeah, visually it looks absolutely stunning. We've got some amazing photographs coming out as well on social media and from the various different photographers. Timo Scheider doing his final prep, getting his balaclava on. And Neil Cole is with Timur Timosyanov.
So Timur Timosyanov, the helmet has gone on. You are under timing orders to get to this car, to the start grid over there. What can you do in this semi-final?
Just be fast to pass some other guys, and then maybe I will be somewhere in the final.
Yeah, and there's a good chance we'll probably have a new winner of a round of the FIA World Rallycross Championship, because there's no previous champions here.
Yeah, that's true, but everybody needs to start from the new list, and nobody knows who will be this guy.
And a quick word about this circuit and what the secret is to getting it right.
Yeah, the track is really actually fast. It's quite long for the normal of the rallycross. Its first part is almost tarmac, and then the second part is almost gravel, but with the really high banking corners, and it's really nice. It's I like the track, and I need to drive it now.
Good luck.
Henk coming in there. You can see that's Henk de Winter, who's down on the grid, and make sure the drivers are in place. You can see he gave the 2-minute signal to the drivers to preload the grid. Timur then saying, Neil, I've got to go. I'd love to see a win for Timur. I think a lot of people would, Dan.
Yeah, he's a big personality in the sport, and we've seen, I remember one event a couple of years ago in Latvia where he got taken out and he just jumped on the roof of his car and celebrated.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, in turn 1. It was about knee-deep in water, wasn't it? He was on the roof jumping up and down. The crowd went mad. I said to him the other day, you haven't won since 2012. He's like, shut up about 2012. It's 2019. I'm like, fair enough. Like, but I would love to see him do it. I'd love to see him do it. He came so close. Do you remember in Norway when it looked like he was going to beat Bakkerud, when Bakkerud got the first ever clean sweep and he got that puncture? So, you know, Timur can still do it, and we know the I-20's fast.
Yeah, he still has the pace, and he's been proving himself this weekend, and the Hyundai, all of the GRX boys. The speed is definitely there, and I'm sure the results will come. Well,
very much looking forward to this. The first semi-finals, the first final the first winner of the 2019 World Rallycross Championship season are coming up. We are at Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi for round one of the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship. We've got none of our previous champions here. Hello to Matthias Ekström, to Petter Solberg and to Johan Kristoffersson, who I know have all taken a keen interest in what's happening here over the weekend. We miss you guys, but we are going to see some new winners. We're going to see some youngsters coming through the ranks, and I hope we're going to be in for a fantastic year of sport. Kevin Hansen there on the grid is the top qualifier for the first time ever in his career, and we can take a look at the standings as we go into the semi-finals and as Kevin pulls into the grid. Kevin then taking the TQ, Niklas Gronholm with his best ever performance. I spoke to his dad earlier this morning, they were feeling pretty confident. Timo Scheider, Yanis Balmanis, Anton Markland, Christian Sabo, Timothy Mizyanov, Rokas Bakuska, top 8. Timmy Hansen in 9th. He won't make it because the car is too badly damaged. Shisharit, Doran and Raymond. Now, bear in mind, Andreas Bakkerud was in. He's down in 15th. He was disqualified by the stewards from Q3 for that incident with Timmy Hansen, so scores 2 championship points here. Because Timmy isn't here, Reinis Nitish bumps up from 13th to 12th, and you'll see him in the semi-final lineup. My name's Andrew Coley. Joining me on co-commentary is Dan Rook, runner-up in RX2 a couple of years ago, a British supercar champion as well. Neil Cole recording from the paddock. These are your 2 semi-finals. Semi-1's front row, Kevin Hansen and Timo Scheider. Semi-2, Niklas Gronholm and Yanis Balmanis. So, you know, we've got some fantastic new names up at the front of the grid. Neil Cole has been down on the pre-grid for a little while, and earlier on he managed to have a chat with Niklas Gronholm. So let's hear what Niklas had to say ahead of his first ever pole in a semi-final.
Niklas, you must be pleased you've put it on pole position for the first semi-finals of the year.
Yeah, it's been a bit tricky today. Not today I hoped for. We were fast in warm-up, but then some struggles. But yeah, some bad luck for the other guys put us on pole, but I'll take that.
And behind you we can see the launch off the start line into that tarmac first section. Talk us through what it'll be like in the semi-final.
Of course, semi-final is a bit easier. You only have one car next to you instead of 4, so you have a bit more room to take turn 1. For sure, the guys will be more or less in attack mode to try to steal the first place. But I'll do my own driving and try to get on top and try to get the first row in the final also. And
the Hyundai i20 looks pretty good around this circuit.
Yeah, I think we found a quite good setup. Not maybe ideal, but let's see. I think we still have some more speed in the car for the semi-final and the final. So hoping for the best.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
This is it then, semi-final time for the first time this year. The drivers are all on the grid. Here is the lineup for semi-final 1 at round 1. On pole, Kevin Hansen, first time ever top qualifier. Timo Scheider next to him. Row 2, Anton Markland and Timothy Mizyanov. Can Timo see a way around the outside in the first corner? Row 3, Liam Doran and Reinis Nitish. Nitish, a late entry, of course, into this semi-final thanks to the issues for other people being disqualified and so on. You can see they can see a clear path down. I always feel Markland and Doran, you can see in P3 and P5, tricky for them to find a way through. The Peugeots have brilliant starts all weekend, but this is the most crucial one of all. The revs are up. Here we go, semi-final time. Hansen with a great start, Markland 2. Hansen moves across, going to try and put Scheider out wide. No contact so far. Nitish managed to get past. Doran's gone backwards. Nitish around the outside, going to get P3 short. Oh, massive! Over the curb, tyre is off. Nitish launched over the curb, landed on the roof of Anton Markland and has damaged the roof and taken the rear wing off the car. Kevin Hansen leads. Where's that car parked? It's parked round the outside of turn 1, so I think this race will continue. Smoke from the back of Scheider's car as well, so maybe damage to the bodywork.
We were super worried about those orange curbs all weekend, and it just goes to show why, you know, those first couple of tussles in the corner, just you get caught up in it and got massive, you can see massive damage on the back of Markland's car.
I mean, literally, Nitish's car was on top of the car, but there we go. This is the way it is. So, Markland goes Joker 1. So, Markland's gone Joker 1. There's no rear wing on that car as well, and bear in mind, obviously, that with the high-speed stuff here, that's going to affect the handling for him. Timo Scheider in P2, Liam Doran is in P3. Kevin Hansen out front, you can see Scheider. Scheider's been moving this car around quite a lot all weekend.
Yeah, there's been a lot of movement on the car. Smoke pouring off the back, maybe some
bodywork, so you can see the bodywork is underneath. Nitish is out, that's a great shame. He's only going to do a few events this year from the sound of things. He'll be really disappointed about that. Kevin Hansen, meanwhile, leading. Only Markland as Joker so far.
Yeah, fantastic job by Kevin here. You know, he's pulled a margin to Timo Scheider of 0.8 already, and he's just keeping his head down and keeping it focused. He knows he's got a job in hand to do, and he's doing it perfectly.
He is indeed. That's that sector of the track which isn't quite so well lit, which we really like, because you get to see anti-lag on it. Kevin on the brakes into the left and then the right. So yeah, the lights are focused very much on the F1 circuit. As you can see here, it's literally, Dan, it's like daylight.
Yeah, it's fantastic lighting, and hopefully it's not too distracting for these guys. I can't imagine what it's going to be like sat in the car, and I just hope that the fog lights aren't too dazzling.
So Markland is on in 7.1, so he's just about 3 seconds off the back of Timozyanov. I think it depends, doesn't it, how much damage Markland's carrying, whether or not I could see the rear wing hanging off the car. There's Nitish who climbed onto the top of it. Kevin out front, no problems, but Timo Scheider's going with him.
Yeah, Timo's going with him, and he's keeping up well. They're pulling the gap back to Doran as well, so they're both dragging themselves through.
Neither of these guys in this position, they know one car's out, they'll have seen it at the side of the road probably. They're probably not going to Joker, are they, until the last lap?
No, it reduces the element of risk. Oh, as we just seen from the commentary position, big slide from Markland as he's struggling about the rear wing. But no, these two guys are going to hang on till the last lap. It's going to reduce the risk of making a mistake on the Joker lap, and also, you know, they're not being held up. They can just put their head down and do their own speed.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it tight. And Hansen, to me, Kevin Hansen in the final qualifier session, moving the car around a bit more than normal. Nice to see, and he did the fastest time of the weekend. So look at this again. A little bit of handbrake rotates the car around. They've got a couple of laps left to go. As I say, I think they'll wait. I think Scheider will too. So Scheider's on the pace here. A little bit of dust flies up. You can see some sparks in the background. Who's gone Joker? It's Timozyanov. Timozyanov goes Joker, so he was up in the back of Liam Doran. You can see there was 0.6 per second in it. So Timmer now needs to get the hammer down, see if he can find a bit of time. He comes out in front of Anton Markland. Look at the rear of Markland's car. It's very, very loose, and Dan, that could be geometry, but it could also be the missing aero.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've spoke to ProDrive in the past, and they've done a lot of work with the aero on the car to get the rear grip, and he's going to be struggling here, especially in these fast corners.
So Markland continues at the back of the pack with a pretty heavily damaged car. Kevin Hansen continues out front with Scheider just 1 second off the back of him, but we're now looking to see Liam Doran. Does Scheider go? Scheider's gone Joker early. Scheider's gone Joker 1 lap from the end, so he's hoping then that he'll disappear and maybe there'll be a problem for Kevin. Kevin won't be able to see him in his mirrors. Liam has gone. Is Timozyanov going to get him? Liam coming round the outside, Timmer up the inside. Liam's going to try and carry the speed into turn 2, going to get the undercut on the gas now. He's going to get alongside the Russian. Timozyanov has the inside line into turn 3. Oh, late in the brakes on the handbrake. Doran up the inside. Great pass, Liam Doran. On the gas. Timozyanov trying to get the move back. That was fantastic setup from Liam. Timozyanov has a look in the inside on the way into the chicane. Contact between them. Doran into the right-hander. The Russian is right underneath his rear wing in the I-20, but that was teed up from turn 1 all the way through. Great move, Liam Doran.
Perfect racecraft there. He knew that he could just cut himself. As Kevin Hansen's gone into Joker now last lap as well, so we'll see how it gets onto Scheider. Kevin's
going to come down. I'm pretty sure he's going to take it. He does. Kevin Hansen takes semi-final 1 comfortably. Oh, Scheider hits the wall. Scheider hits the wall. Doran over in P3, so that move by Doran, and Markland hero drive to bring that car home. Markland has come across the line in 5th place. But the move there for me, brilliant racing between Liam Doran and Timozyanov. Fair, hard racing. Liam managed to get P3, and that sees him through to the final. I can't remember the last time Liam was in the final of the World Championship.
Hockenheim 2016.
Yes, Dan Rook, you see? Yes, Dan Rook. Right, Kevin Hansen.
Heading back, Scheider hit the wall pretty hard, didn't he? Came through the left, flat out, and tapped the wall. So is there any damage to Scheider's car? They've only got a little while to fix it. He's driving back, so maybe not. Result of semi-final 1. Kevin Hansen takes it from Timo Scheider and Liam Doran. Timozyanov, Markland and Rainis Nitish go no further this weekend. Okay, wow, well, that was interesting in turn 1. Particularly, I think, if you were Rainis Nitish or Anton Markland. I feel for Rainis. Bit of a bundle. You can see he's disappointed. Rainis, by the way, is the only previous World Rallycross Championship event winner who was in the semi-finals. We are guaranteed a new winner today. Somebody is going to join the list of drivers who have had a win, and there are only 12 of them. Here we go, down towards turn 1. Have a look back then. There's a bit of a bundle. Watch for Nitish on the outside. So Nitish runs the car a bit wide, and then, so the problem is that he hit the curb side on, not front on, didn't he?
Yeah, we can see there a big squeeze from Markland, and he had nowhere to go, couldn't stop, and yeah, a big hit there.
So a massive hit in the first corner. Look at Markland driving round with the rear end of the car destroyed. That's mostly bodywork down, isn't it? Because the roll cage is fairly long way down from the rear quarter.
Yeah, thankfully, you know, a lot of that's replaceable as well. So always big sideways there, as you can see in the background.
This was the fantastic race. Look at Doran. He knows he hasn't got him, so he slots him left, slots him right on the gas. But this is where he's teed him up for the hairpin. If Timmer here had got it stopped a little bit better, okay, we're not going to see it, then he might have been able to hold on to position, but he didn't. So Doran goes through with Scheider, and semi-final 1 winner, Kevin Hansen.
Kevin, a semi-final winner, the first round of the year, big smile on your face. Talk us through that race.
Yeah, it was a clean race. I took the start and I went defensive, then 6 nice laps behind the wheel of this car. So now it's time to quickly hurry back to the team and cool it down.
Good, well, good luck in the final.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck in the final. Good luck from pole in the final, more importantly. That's an amazing result for Kevin Hansen.
Perfect start for the season for him. Of course, unfortunate to not have his brother Timmy joining him on the grid, but he's going to be over the moon to have got himself on the front row.
I saw Kenneth Hansen on his way to the spotters tower. He said that the body shell of Timmy's car, which is badly damaged, is going to go to Matter, the body shell company, on the way home, and they reckon they can have it repaired in a week. 2 of the Hansen MJP technicians will go there to help rebuild the car. So Kenneth confident that Timmy's car will be repaired in around a week, which is incredible, and we should be seeing him at the next round. That crowd has a very good look over turn 1, as we do. We're in the background in the pink containerized building. Fantastic view from here. There are the guys, yeah, spotting themselves on the big screen. How are we doing? This is when you hope you told the truth about where you've gone, isn't it? Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to work.
Yeah. Work trip in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, oh, hang on a minute. I'm at the Rallycross. Right, let's take a look back then at the start from semi-final number 1. Dan Rourke, have a little pick over this for us.
So yeah, Kevin had a fantastic start and got away cleanly. In the background, you can see Rainis trying to make the most of his grid position and try to go around the outside, and just got out of luck, and there was no room for him to go, and he collected that orange curb there.
See, he actually had contact, didn't he, with the rear right of Markland. You can see this. Wow, look at the sparks and the wheel there, damaged as well. But the curb has fully launched him there, unfortunately. Well, look, yeah, that's the way it goes. Markland moving across. Where's he supposed to go? You know, he can't. Basically, I don't think you can lay the blame at either driver there. Dan, you drive enough. What's the score here?
No, I mean 3 into 1 just doesn't go, is it? Because they were all just trying to fight for a line, and I'm sure Markland wasn't quite aware of how close he was to the inside, and it happens. I think that's just classed as a racing incident.
See Finnish flags down there. They'll be very pleased, of course, about Niklas's performance this weekend. Swedish flags, Latvian flags. Latvian flag being waved slightly less enthusiastically now, of course, that Nitish is out, but don't forget Balmanis. Nitish, I believe, doing 3 events this year. Oh dear, so not ideal. Not the way he would have wanted to finish the event, but there you go. Great to see him here and great to see him on the pace. It was interesting, wasn't it, when Nitish went to Euros last year, chilled out, and in Niklas Gronholm's old car was absolutely killing it.
Yeah, we know he had a fantastic package around him, being run by the set promotion team, and in that Ford Fiesta, and he was just able to relax, and he really got his head down and got his job done last year.
He did indeed. Selected outings in World Rallycross this year for him. A few fans. Super warm here. You definitely don't need a coat, let's put it that way. Some fantastic viewing spots down through the stadium area. And anti-lag, I have to say, sounds amazing when it's reverberating off the stadium. A few Rallycross t-shirts too, so nice to see some support out here for the first ever Abu Dhabi RX at Yas Marina. There's the Backwood fan club. Look, most of them wearing the blue shirts. One or two have decided that a shirt is surplus to requirements, and this time of night it is warm enough for that here. So semi-final 2 coming up. Look at the lights shining bright in the background, the famous hotel at the Yas Marina circuit. You can see the F1 track and the various different track layouts here. There's a drag racing strip. We've had bikes on other parts of the track all weekend. But we, of course, are interested in this little bit of track down at the hairpin, the Rallycross track, because we have got plenty more action to come. Well, semi-final 1 was pretty exciting. Semi-final 2 is coming up next. A couple of the cars are on the grid already. They're all in position in the background. Some new names in this as well. Sabo. Car run by EKS. Glad to see EKS back. We did think we might not see them after last year, with Matthias deciding that he was going to retire from the World Rallycross Championship. I'm trying to persuade him to come back, people. So, you know, let Matthias know if you'd like to see him do a one-off outing later on this year. Who knows, but great to see the cars back. As we know, the 2 cars being run by Monster Energy RX Cartel are ex-EKS machines and Sabo as well. Sabo's got Rolf Volland here with him this weekend, who ran his Super 1600 car to give him some mentorship. Matthias, I know, is watching from home. Bakuska in the ES Motorsport run Skoda. Fantastic to see a new brand of supercar up in the semi-finals. And we got one of our GCK Academy drivers through too, Cyril Raymond, who of course you're very familiar with, Dan.
Yeah, fantastic to see him manage to get his way through into the semi-final. He's not had a great weekend, to be fair. He's had troubles along the way and, you know, retirements from some of the heat races, but in the semi-final, and I'm sure he's going to put up a good fight.
Yeah, what can he do? Might we see him in the final? Not with that RPM, we won't. So he's going to need to change his start RPM. Here we go then. All 6 cars on the grid and good to go. Semi-final number 2. Niklas Gronholm, first time ever on pole position in a semi-final. Janis Baumanis next to him. Row 2, Christian Sabo. He was flying last year when he stepped up to supercars, and Rokas Bakuska seems to be doing pretty well as well. Current Super 1600 champion in a supercar. On the back row, Gulan Shisharit and Cyril Raymond. Cyril, of course, in the academy team set up by Gulan Shisharit. So what can they do? The McGann's had some good launches, and it's new boots for Shisharit too. Marshall's leaving the grid, thumbs up. When we get back to that grid shot, look to the left-hand middle side of your screen. Orange ready to race light comes on first. When that goes out, it's a random gap to the green, so the drivers never know. It's all generated by computer to make it fair. Wait for the green. Bakuska looked like he was going to go early, didn't. Sabo moves across. Oh, Gronholm's had a terrible start. Gronholm goes backwards. Baumanis gets the whole shot. Sabo in the back of him. Shisha in the back of him. Sideways. Oh, avoid the curbs on the outside. Cyril Raymond up on 2 wheels. Contact between Sabo and it's Shisha as well. Shisha and Sabo over the bottom on the inside. He's got nowhere to go there. He can't avoid that. But it is Baumanis who leads. And Niklas Gronholm's had a disaster. Oh, go slow. So Shisha's got to go slow. Up the inside goes Gronholm. Sabo with a bit of smoke from the rear. That's broken the contact in turn 1. Gronholm comes in deep. Pitching the car around on the gas now and onto the dirt section for the first time.
A disaster of a start there for Niklas Gronholm. You know, it's his first pole position in the semi-final and unfortunately bogged down.
So what's Niklas going to do now? I think it's going to depend. If anybody jokers in front of him, he won't go. If they don't, I thought he might. No, he's not. So he doesn't want to end up back behind Shisha, does he? Who he knows is going a bit slowly.
No, I mean, I think we're going to see him go on this lap. You know, these guys behind him are going slightly slower. And with this lap now, he's going to be able to build a gap to be able to slot in and out in front of them.
So Cyril Raymond in the back of your picture is going slowly. I think he's got a front right puncture, so possibly where he hit that curb hard, he might have taken the tyre off the rim. There it is in the background. Locked wheels for him. Shisha going a bit slow too. So Gronholm basically needs those guys to go backwards, doesn't he? So he's got enough clear air to drop into.
Yeah, and well, it seems at the minute that Shisha is just sort of hanging on in the background. I'm not sure if he goes in now, he will have enough time to come in and out. It will be a fine line, but I think he needs to go in now to be able to get the gap in the next.
Oh, and he does, but it's a late decision, I think, from Gronholm. There was a bit over sideways. Luckily for him, Schiesserit's gone on with him, Dan, so that's a real turn of luck for him.
Yeah, fantastic for Gronholm, for Schiesserit to go in with him. Gronholm now has clear track in front of him, and we know the pace of this high Hyundai, and I'm sure he can get up to the back of these guys and make it through to the final.
Janis Baumanis trying to keep it tidy in the brand new car from start. Baumanis would love to take a semi-final win. That'd be a hell of a result for him.
Yeah, and it would be great for Start as well to really show that their new Evolution car is got the pace.
Looks good through the chicane there, doesn't it? Direction change is nice.
Yeah, super stable and well balanced.
Bakiuska P2, this is a fantastic job by him too, but we need to keep an eye on Niklas Gronholm's lap times, see if he can close these guys down. Who's going to respond? Bakiuska goes straight away. So this is in response, I think, to Niklas Gronholm. Can Bakiuska get in front of Gronholm or not? Gronholm on the inside in the I-20, going to come through to the merge. Oh, Bakiuska, tidy, up the inside. Gronholm can't go anywhere. He will have to give that position back to Bakiuska. If he doesn't, the stewards will get involved, I'm sure, because he's cut the track down.
Yeah, he's obviously just taken a shorter line, and he doesn't appear to be backing out now, and maybe he's going to go to the end of the race and just see what happens.
And there's damage to Bakiuska's car as well, so that's not ideal. So Bakiuska now seems to be going backwards, and Gronholm's up in P3, but it's whether or not the stewards get involved or not. So Baumanis leading. Sabo coming out wide, looking to take an inside line on him. Will Sabo go early joker, or is he going to be too concerned about the guys behind him? Because Gronholm's right there behind him, but a little bit of a bounce off the jump for the Start machine.
Yeah, these guys have been hitting that jump on the same line all day. Oh, super sideways from Sabo, but lovely line. He got himself straight for the exit of turn 1 and got a good line into turn 2.
Sabo having a look up the inside into the hairpin. Tidy again and straight on the exit. Sabo now with more grip. Surely going to have a look up the inside of Baumanis, decides against it. So Sabo can't find a way past. Niklas Gronholm is right behind him. He won't know that Gronholm's cut the track. Gronholm now is looking at these two in front going, thank you very much indeed. Bakiuska is in the stadium section, was at a standstill. Sabo runs wide. Gronholm up the inside. So Gronholm up into P2 now. Baumanis into the hairpin. Niklas Gronholm has made his way back from a disastrous start to second place.
Yeah, I'm just a bit worried about what's going to happen to Gronholm after cutting turn 2. I mean, I hope he didn't get held up too much, but
there was a bit of contact, so we probably need to have a look back at the replays to figure that one out. Sabo, meanwhile, although he's dropped back a bit, he's miles in front of Schiesserit, Bakiuska and Raymond. Look at the gaps for yourselves, guys. Top left of the screen, they're a long way off the pace. So can Gronholm make a pass on Baumanis, or he doesn't need to? Baumanis has got a joker, and Gronholm's going to take the lead.
Yeah, fantastic for Gronholm. A disaster start, but managed to have a good race to get himself back up in the fight and looking on track to win this race.
Spoke to Marcus Gronholm this morning. He said how pleased they were with the cars. You know what he's like, still calm, not quite as calm as Niklas, but yeah, great to have a chat with Marcus, pleased with the progress. Hinted that there might be some more performance, that maybe things were possibly turned down a bit because of the heat here. So yeah, we're going to see the I-20 even faster later in the season. Either way, Gronholm takes the checker flag for semi-final number 2. Baumanis over the line just in front of Sabo. Schiesserit comes across in 4th. Now, Dan, it's going to come down to whether or not the stewards judge Gronholm to have cut the track and gained an advantage. If they don't feel he gained an advantage, maybe not, but what will they do?
I mean, I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm just going to have a quick look on the timing, see if I can see if he gained any time on that lap, but he... I mean, I don't think he did. There was a lot of contact in and around. Maybe a couple attempts he gained, but...
We'll see. Niklas Gronholm takes the semi-final from Janis Baumanis and Christian Sabo. They will go through Schiesserit, Cyril Raymond and Rokas Bakiuska. Don't go any further. Bakiuska just crawling across the line now. So a crowd are applauding. I have to say they're being treated to some pretty spectacular racing, maybe more spectacular than some of the drivers would like, I think, and that's fair enough. You know, I like to see 6 cars finishing races, but not always the nature of the game. So Cyril Raymond crosses the line to finish his first semi-final for GCK Academy. I'm expecting big things from Cyril Raymond and Guillaume de Ridder this year. This was a tough place to come and do your first World Rallycross event against, you know, brilliant competitors and who are all on a very similar pace. Great reaction from the crowd, Dan. Lovely to drive back in front of a crowd like this.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. You know, there's a couple tracks around the calendar that the fans are able to lean over the fence, and it's just great.
Taking a look back at semi-final number 2, this is the start. So it was all fairly sensible here, was it? Cyril Raymond on the right-hand side, look, just hit it. Is that enough to knock the tire? I don't know, it looks okay at that point. Gronholm, but now look, is basically 5th.
nearly 6th, and somehow comes back from there, Dan. It was a hell of a fight back, but we really need to see the point at which he merges.
Yeah, so I think this is the point where he's gone to the... Oh, no, this is the merge here now, so keep an eye on Gronholm and see if he loses much time.
Now, do you know what? I think the stewards will say that Bakiuska came in hot. So I think if it's 50-50, you're probably going to let it go for Gronholm. What's your thoughts?
I mean, Gronholm was on to take turn 1, and you can see he just got completely pushed offline, and he could not turn back in time to get away from that curb.
So, OK, maybe then. Maybe the stewards won't take any action. A tiny mistake from Sabo. That goes to show you, doesn't it? If you get off onto the loose line, you can lose an absolute ton of time. Gronholm, amazing job. P5 to P1. Front row in the final.
Nicholas, there's damage on the side of the car, but a great recovery from what looked like a bad start.
Yeah, I had a clutch issue in the start. I couldn't do anything. The car just like slipped the clutch for itself. I don't know what happened. It went through, the clutch went through the bottom. No idea. We have to fix it now. And then I don't know what this Skoda driver was thinking when he came into my side. I think he needs a lesson.
There we go. If you're under any doubts as to whether or not Nicholas thought that was cool, not cool. He needs a lesson, apparently. So there you go. Yeah, proper darkness here now. Not on the track, though. There we go, look. The lights of the United Arab Emirates in the background. The marshals under the floodlights picking up a few bits of cars. The fans having a little seat, and now they're going to have a relax before we get on to the final. So, Dan, a few things to discuss. First of all, Gronholm's clutch. He's on the front row. If that clutch isn't absolutely bang on, then he's not going to be able to take the start.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful here, because obviously the start procedure for these guys is they have to bring it up to bite point. So he could have potentially overheated the clutch there on the line for semi-1. And if he has a similar problem in the final, then you know he's going to end up going backwards, unfortunately. So he's going to have to be very wary of the way he does his start procedure.
And the cars behind are going to have to watch out as well, because if he doesn't launch off the line, they will gain so much ground on him so quickly. It'll be pretty terrifying. The final is still to come. So, let's take a breather just for a couple of minutes. We've got a new winner coming, definitely. We've got Kevin Hansen and Niklas Gronholm on the front row, assuming the stewards don't say anything about the Gronholm incident. I'm pretty excited for the final.
Yeah, I am as well. It's been a long time since we've, not been able to decide who's going to be the winner coming into the final, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, it is really exciting. We're going to have another look back at the semi-final. In the background there, that was Cyril Raymond. Look, he was so keen off the start, almost a jump. Comes around the outside, look, gets really unlucky here.
He tried his hardest to get out of the squeeze, but he just clipped it there.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? Because if he'd anchored up slightly there, he would maybe have sucked back slightly from the curb and slotted in, not hit the curb. But that's easy to say when you're driving down. You don't want to lose that position. He's desperate to hold on to even 5th.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, these guys are all big contact. Yeah, you can see where Nicholas says he's queued up online to go through the chicane, and he had nowhere to go. He could not possibly turn back on the track,
I mean, he hasn't left Bakiuska a car's width on the inside, to be fair, but if Bakiuska isn't going to make the turn, then, I think Gronholm has a fair point.
Yeah, definitely. Gronholm should not be really Bakiuska's brake pedal.
So it's actually the first race that Gronholm has won all weekend. So we know he's done some brilliant times, but he hasn't taken the checkered flag first. And to come from 5th to 1st in a semi-final, against a high calibre of drivers is an impressive performance. And say Marcus was all smiles this morning, and Niklas, he's like the coolest dude ever, isn't he, Niklas? He's like, don't bring the camera over here. Like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just, he's almost a bit Kimmy-like, but I like it. And Niklas is lovely too. When you go and have a chat with him without a camera, he's cool. Anyway, very cool to take the checkered flag and to take the win. Job done. So we have a little bit of a break here. We don't have a support category with us in Abu Dhabi, so we're going to be catching up with some of the drivers ahead of the final. Oh, yes. Now, I went down one truck to the left of that yesterday and had a very nice burrito, Dan Rook. What did you have?
I had a burger from the restaurant in the media centre, actually.
That's very good. Dan didn't mention any brand names of burgers or anything there. We should try to do some sort of burger mentioning sponsorship deal. He's had quite a few burgers. I have to say the food situation here is pretty cool. There was a big concert last night with Migos here. The crowd were enjoying that. I have to say, the weather's pretty amazing. Sorry, Europe. I know it's only about 5-6 degrees in a lot of Europe down here. It's been a bit too hot, but it is fantastic to come out here
and see some racing in shorts and T-shirt weather. Definitely the hottest rallycross race I've been to, with Cota's ARX a very close second last year. So high 30s and 40s, not so much now, but the action's going to remain hot. We've got the final coming up. Flag waving and fan waving, two pretty enthusiastic semi-finals the guys have seen, and they've just got the final to come, where we're definitely going to have a new winner. First car look is up to the grid already. Kevin Hansen, super keen, and he's going to roll himself down towards the pole position. Neil Cole's down on the grid. He's got with him Torben Olsen, who's the Managing Director of FIA World RX. So Neil's going to catch up with Torben.
Torben, after what felt like a very long winter off-season, finally the season is underway, and what a great start to what should be a great season.
Yeah, oh, fantastic. I'm really excited. It looks like we got plenty of young, hungry drivers out there who wants to prove themselves. The championship is completely open. I can't, and I don't want to predict who's going to win it. It's hard to predict who wins the heat. Never mind the World Championship at the end of the year, yeah.
And of course, here it's new to be in the Middle East in Abu Dhabi. We're going to Spa-Francorchamps. There's a few good innovations for this year.
We think this is one of the big things for the World Championship, bringing the circuit here, bringing the event here, and also combining that with, we saw yesterday, a big concert here, that festivalization that we launched last year with Speed Machine and Silverstone that we're building on and launching even bigger this year again. That's what the sport needs, and we're really excited about that.
And also, you just announced last week about Project E, electric rallycross will be coming. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's still very open. We can't disclose too much things, but we know now for sure, which we're also very excited about. There will be an electric element to the weekend in the nearest future, and we feel rallycross lends itself to electric. So internal combustion World Championship is still continuing, so we can have the best of both worlds in the nearest future, which we're really looking forward to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's Kevin Hansen. He looks pretty relaxed, Dan, but, you know, you're a youngster yourself. We know you'd love to be in the cars. We hope to see you back in the cars sooner rather than later. But although Kevin is playing it cool, it would be huge. His first World Championship win would be absolutely huge.
Yeah, he's come close on a few occasions, I know, and this is probably his best shot, starting pole position into the first final of the year, and he's going to be feeling it, I'm sure.
Without Timmy and without Andreas as well, so you know that kind of gives him two guys who were two guys who've won a lot. I think Bakkerud's won 6 and Hansen's won 5 in terms of career victories. Let me just check. Yes, it is indeed. So Bakkerud on 6, Hansen on 5. Ekstrom has 10, Solberg has 10, Kristoffersen has 20 wins. We've only had 12 drivers who've ever won an event. We're about to have 13 because somebody is going to take their first ever win in the World Rallycross Championship at a brand new circuit here in Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina. We actually went and had a catch up with the drivers before they'd started racing on it to get their thoughts on this new venue.
My first view on this track at Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi was amazing. Like, I think the guys have done a really great job of the track layouts, what they have. The first time Rallycross really gets into an arena.
They brought in some fast corners, which I really like, and we have a long start straight as well, and quite a left-right combination just from the start, and then a hairpin, so I think we can have a lot of action to the first 3 corners before it opens up a bit.
I think it's great we're using the Grand Prix track in the beginning. It's a good section of the lap. It's a bit slow for the F1 cars, but it suits Rallycross perfectly.
They've done an amazing job. I think the track looks really cool, it's fast. You have some technical section in the Joker especially. So I think we have a bit of everything here, to be honest.
When you arrive in the turn 1, it's really difficult to see your apex, and next to you, you have the Joker line. So it will be very intense at this point.
It's going to be a brutal Joker merge, to be honest. The last lap flat out over the finish line, one car coming from the inside line. You want to flick the car to manage to have full throttle through it. It can be a brutal finish line.
I think you can win or lose the race at this point, and you can cross the finish line at this point. So I think this is the perfect final for the track.
I think with the bend corners you can brake really late, and make a bit of rotation before coming down, and the joker. So really looking forward.
We'll have to manage the lines, certainly be smooth like on a racing track. Then the other half of the lap is the real rallycross bit where we find the gravel.
We've got some elevation changes as well, so I'm really excited to go out on track. It looks really much fun, and to drive this car again would be amazing.
There's one tight hairpin, there's a really fast section. I think the gravel is going to be a bit slippery, there's the jump. So I think this track has everything, and it looks like there will be a lot of fighting and overtaking. I see a lot of opportunities at least.
The cars are loading up ready for the final. You've seen plenty of action over the course of the weekend. We saw two exciting semi-finals. Here's a man who might make it an exciting final. And Dan Rook, the last time he was in the final, where were you?
I happened to be in the spotters tower for him.
There you go. There you go. So Liam not having Dan Rook spotting for him this weekend, because Dan's a bit busy with me. But after, I think, what you could safely say was an up and down debut for Liam. We know he likes the car. I spoke to Matthias Ekström after Liam had first tested the car, in fact, and he'd said how much he'd enjoyed it. But clearly there's a difference between Andreas, who's done a year in the chassis, and Liam, who comes to it new and needs to maybe dial it in for his own driving style. But he's made the final, Dan, and that's, you need a battling performance. If the weekend hasn't been perfect, he's still in the final.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen he's not quite had the pace through the weekend, but it's fantastic that he's managed to fight his way up and get in there. But like you say, Andreas knows this car. He's had a year in it. And Liam, I'm sure, would have driven only maybe a handful of tests, if only one, before this this weekend. So still just getting himself settled.
He was looking pretty confident in that battle, wasn't he, that saw him made it through. So absolutely brilliant performance by him and by all the other drivers to have made it this far. We have one race left to go in Abu Dhabi. Final time at the Yas Marina, round one of the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship. And we have some names in this one that we weren't expecting to be there, I think. We knew this year was going to be a bit wide open. We knew these guys were ready to make the step up to the front of the World Championship. Now we're going to see who has got the bottle to hold on and take the big trophy home from here. Well, we were waiting for an interview down on the grid, but unfortunately, I think our camera's been removed at the last second as the drivers get ready. Fair enough. We can't always be in a position to get that done. That's Neil, I think, front right of picture. So he was with Kevin, and Kevin, maybe at this point, Dan, this is maybe the point which he goes, this is my first time on pole in the World Championship. I don't want to do an interview. Fair enough.
Yeah, he needs to get in the car and start trying to dial himself in, really start to concentrate. What the first bit that he needs to nail is his start and his reaction times, because if that slips, then he's already lost time on everyone else. So he's going to be getting in there and trying to super focus and get in the zone.
Timosyanov's car is in the background. He's there as first reserve. Okay, semi-final two, car number 68, corner cutting under investigation. That is Niklas Gronholm, and that was at 7:35 on my timing screen. Let me have a look and see. I make it 7:37. So they've only had 2 minutes, the stewards. That's local time, of course. They've only had 2 minutes, the stewards, to look at that. It's under investigation. So at the minute, we're hearing no change in the grid. So, yeah, it might be that after the race, Dan, there's a penalty, but, Gronholm won't mind about that at the minute as long as he makes it through to the final and has a crack at it. That's more important than him worrying about the stewards.
No, Gronholm now needs to just forget about the last race and get himself ready for what's ahead of him.
And the stewards, of course, are joined this weekend by Tommy Rustad. So now the stewards, who have a very hard job, are actually joined by an ex-driver and who can maybe bring some light on some of these situations and say just about what's happened. Neil Cole is with Jānis Baumanis. Let's hear from the Latvian.
Jānis, the car's looking really good. You're looking very focused. What is your last thoughts before you go into the first final of the year?
Will I be in the first row or second row? Because Niklas cut the track a lot, and I still don't know any decisions about if he gets some punishment or not. So that's my thoughts right now. But that's 50%. Another 50% is about the lines and how to push the maximum out of the car.
And give us a quick word about this circuit, because you seem to have it quite dialed.
Yeah, actually today, starting from why?
Is that one of your questions been answered?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But he cut the track completely. So again, something wrong with some lows, but okay. Let's see what we can do in the final. Now I know that I need to push the maximum. I need to start the engine and yeah, hope for the best. We'll see. Okay. We'll see the rules now. What's happened? So yeah.
Good luck, Yannis. Good luck.
Right, so Yannis there, not happy with the decision. The decision is that Gronholm will go in front of him clearly. I love the fact that even though he's on TV, he's like, yeah, but he cut the track. Like, straight away with the driver, no, I'm not having it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he's going to be looking for that advantage of the front row. And, you know, track limits, I can see why he's arguing, but maybe if he was, I don't know if he's seen the footage from the final or not, maybe if he sees that, he might give it another 4.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Timmy Hansen and Kenneth Hansen are stood just to my right. They're 6 feet away, and they're here, I know, to cheer on Kevin Hansen, who's on pole in the final for the first time ever. Big grin from Timmy Hansen. Max Pucherupper as well, MJP, of course, involved with the Hansen squad. And great to see them so enthusiastically supporting Kevin after what's been a difficult weekend for them. Can Kevin take that first win? Will the win go to Gronholm? Well, there's plenty of people in this who could take it, look. Can't bet against Timo Scheider. Yannis Balmanis was looking good. Liam Doran with that great move on Timosyanov. We know the Audi's fast. We've seen that before from Ekstrom, Baccarat, Sabo in the last couple of seasons have proved just how quick the Audi is in comparison to the Peugeot. The Peugeot's been starting strong, so who hope to win the start. Balmanis is going to come up into slot 4. Look, Balmanis would prefer to be P2, but actually slot 4 down isn't bad again. You know what I was saying earlier about slot 3 and slot 5? You kind of need a gap to open up in front of you, whereas if you're on the outside, maybe you can make some space.
Yeah, now he's able to monitor the situation maybe a little bit better and push himself out a bit wider if he has to cut back in and avoid all of the carnage that happens in turn 1 and turn 2 here.
Christian Sabo running the number 1, 2, 3. I like to think he'd probably take first, second or third, wouldn't he, Dan? Here he'd be pretty happy with a podium, wouldn't he, on his first event as a full-time World Rallycross driver?
Yeah, fantastic job by him this weekend. And, you know, when we saw him in European Rallycross last year, delivered some fantastic performances and back in the same car. And, well, I want to see what he can do.
Yeah, me too. Liam Doran, the last car to pull up, so the 2 Audis at the back. Are they going to be able to make any progress from there? Let's take a look then at the grid for the first final of the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship. Kevin Hansen on the pole. He took the TQ, he won his semi-final, but Niklas Gronholm battled back from 5th to 1st in his semi. Who's going to take it? Will it be Scheider or Balmanis from row 2? Or could it be Sabo or Doran from row 3? Whoever wins this, it is their first ever win in the World Rallycross Championship. It is all on the line, and I suspect it's going to be all in. Hold on tight, people. Tighten those belts. Here we go. Thumbs up from the marshal. Anti-lag on. Heart rate up for me. I'm sure it's up for the guys too. The revs are up. Watching the ready to race light. It goes out. Green, Gronholm a bit sideways of the line. Scheider hooks it up. Gronholm's got a good start. He's alongside Kevin Hansen. Kevin's going to try and hold on. Doran goes deep on the brakes. Round the outside of Sabo. Doran's made up at least 2 places there. Tidily done. Scheider's up the inside of Liam. Liam gets a tap. Kevin Hansen holding on from Niklas Gronholm. Scheider going to try and rotate around the inside of Liam Doran. Oh, and he pushes him wide. So Scheider pushes Doran wide, but Sabo's up the inside of him. Christian Sabo's up the inside of Scheider. Oh, Scheider shuts the door, puts the squeeze on, and holds P3. Doran gun up the inside, clicks the curb, manages to get Sabo. Sabo drops back a place at the back. Balmanis is going to end up P6, but this is about Kevin and Niklas.
Got all to play for here in the first lap of the opening round of the World Championship, and the guys out front, you can see they've already got a gap back to Scheider from all of the fighting, so these guys are going to want to make themselves a comfortable little gap so that they're not going to end up fretting.
So into the Joker lap has gone Liam Doran. Liam Doran has gone Joker on the first lap, felt it didn't go his way, battled really hard. Kevin Hansen versus Niklas Gronholm for the win. Right together. Timo Scheider's gone with them. Do you think it was wiser Doran to go now? I mean, he might as well. He's up behind. He's up behind Balmanis already. So we're looking out of the commentary position. They're all coming into the chicane. There's a definite gap, isn't there, from 3rd back to 4th at the moment. Scheider, though, maybe closing the gap down on Gronholm in front of him.
Yeah, it seems to be. I think Kevin Hansen's maintaining the same speed just from what we can see from the timing, and Niklas maybe dropping off the back and dropping into the clutches of Scheider. So these guys are going to end up all squeezed together, I feel.
So it was 1.5, now it's 1.6, it was 0.7. Actually, Gronholm closed up by 2/10. Kevin, Timmy Hansen's pace, look, says it all. Come on, Kevin, he's saying, come on. These two support each other so strongly. Kevin rotating the car around. Gronholm looks tidier to me in P2.
Yeah, he had super mid-corner speed there, and he just gained up onto the back of Kevin, but Kevin seemed to pull a little bit with the concertina effect onto the back straight.
So the question mark now for me, Dan, is when do you go? And this is a question mark for these guys too. For Kevin, I think it's pretty simple. Hold on out front, go on the last lap. But if you're Niklas, when do you go? He needs a gap behind him. He's gapped Scheider. Scheider's going out the back now, and Gronholm looks within 4/10. You don't need a clock to see how close Gronholm is.
No, I think Gronholm has to hang on, though. There's not enough of a gap for him to slot into. I think there's danger of him maybe slotting in behind Szabo, so he needs to make sure that they can get themselves a good little cushion.
Kevin Hansen, you can see with the floodlights here, you can see his eyes in the car. You can see the familiar glasses that he wears when he races. Niklas Gronholm up so close behind him. Marcus Gronholm will be bouncing up and down as well, I'm sure, wherever he is at the venue. Say Kenneth and Timmy just to our right. Oh, Gronholm gets super close in behind Kevin. Gronholm has got superb speed here. He's piling the pressure on. Can Kevin hold on?
Kevin just ran a little bit wide mid-chicane there, which has allowed Gronholm to gain on the back of him.
Oh, he's in the rear of him. Kevin goes sideways, so contact between them. Kevin's gone sideways. Will he go joker or does he go standard lap? So Niklas Gronholm with a tap in the back has taken the lead.
Oh, maybe a little bit naughty there from Gronholm. I don't think, no need to touch him in the back there. It just turned Kevin a little bit too much and he's lost so much time.
So Kevin has dropped away then. So we see Baumanis up the inside of Scheider, so Scheider let him through there. I think Timo Scheider maybe has a problem. Doesn't look too slow. Rear left, potentially there's a bit of smoke coming off that. Liam Doran down in fourth, but okay, so Gronholm with a tiny bit of contact on Kevin. Dan, you feel it's maybe borderline?
Yeah, it could be borderline there. I mean, we saw
pushing and passing.
Pushing and passing, yeah. I think that could be a little bit risky there for Gronholm. He needs to be careful.
Okay, so Gronholm then, it may be at the mercy of the stewards come the end of this one. Can Kevin Hansen get back past him anyway? So Kevin desperately chasing. Gronholm goes joker now. Kevin goes with him. There's a lap to go. So I'm surprised Kevin has gone with him on the same lap. I maybe would have split that strategy.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why. Let's have a look. Hang on, Liam Doran in the background.
Oh!
You can see Liam's gaining on the back of them. So maybe they're just going in there to cover off.
Szabo's gone straight on. Baumanis has gone straight on. So these guys all misjudging it. Baumanis can't rejoin there. We'll have to give the place up to Liam Doran. The stewards definitely won't have that. So Liam Doran is up into third place. We've got Gronholm leading. And look at the... Okay, so Timmy Hansen up here waiting. They'll be disappointed with the position they're in now. Gronholm, with the screen shattered from the gravel, is heading up towards the hairpin for the very last time. So Gronholm, he made contact with Kevin Hansen up in the hairpin. I wonder if that'll be enough for the stewards to step in and say they're not happy. But as it stands, Niklas Gronholm coming down to take the finish line at round one. There is a new Gronholm name etched on an FIA World Championship trophy, and it's Niklas Gronholm. We're in round one in Abu Dhabi. Liam Doran spins over the line into a huge donut. Kevin Hansen takes P2, the fireworks going off. So Gronholm with the win, but I have to say, I wonder if there'll be an intervention. We'll see. We'll see. So it was going to be closer than that. I'm kind of disappointed, Dan, because if I'm really honest, I wanted to see the two of them race it right out to the finish. But there you go. Niklas Gronholm takes the first win of the year, his first ever FIA World Rallycross Championship win in Abu Dhabi at Yas Marina. Kevin Hansen second, Liam Doran on the podium. And I think that is Doran's first podium. It is. So Liam's best finish prior to that was fifth, so there is a Brit on the podium. I think Andrew Jordan probably the last person to do that. Janis Baumanis, Christian Szabo and Timo Scheider, fourth, fifth and sixth. Definitely a couple of problems for Scheider, dropped off the pace later in the race. But Kevin versus Niklas is what that was all about. Look at the smoke in the stadium. Safety car are seeing the drivers cut back round to the podium. Take another look then. Dan Rook, this is the start.
So yeah, Baumanis not making a good start, dropping all the way back, but Kevin Hansen just getting the squeeze on and making himself a hole to get away in front of Niklas here.
So this was up at turn 3. It was a pretty sensible start, I think. And then Scheider here ran Doran wide, fair enough. Actually lost out to Sabo. But I was impressed by the way, A, that he shut the door, but also that Sabo was sensible enough to back out of it. Liam then came in the outside of Christian Sabo. And Liam, on the handbrake to rotate the car round the curb.
Yeah, good move there. He just saw a narrow gap in between Szabo and the curb and just put himself there.
I think you have to say, don't you, this is a return to the Liam Doran that we know is very, very quick. You know, I've seen him put in some incredible laps. Yeah, fantastic job, and you can really see in this semi-final and the final, the fight is back. So that was the mistake that Kevin Hansen, you think, made in chicane over the far side of the circuit, and at this point, look, yeah, you see, I think the stewards will say pushing to pass, but I'm not the stewards, you know, and so Dan, you know, your thoughts, you're a driver?
Yeah, I mean, I know I'd be thoroughly annoyed if I was in Kevin Hansen's shoes.
But then if you were in Niklas Gronholm's shoes, what would you have done?
Well, maybe he was holding me up, I don't know.
There you go, you see. Maybe he was holding me up. But yeah, Liam Doran, mistakes from a few people, look. And that, you see, Balmanis there got sucked into the braking zone by Sabo in front of him. It's easy to do, isn't it, when you're focused on the car in front?
Yeah, it's so easy. You know, you're focusing on their brake lights, and if their brake lights are at the wrong point, then yours are more likely to be as well.
Fantastic fireworks, super sideways over the line. Liam Doran with the biggest drift I've ever seen into a donut to celebrate. And he's up into the holding area. There's Niklas. Yeah, he's pleased. Look, left side of the screen, Niklas is pleased. Timurs Yarnov, one of the first people there to congratulate him. There we go. We have our first winner. Liam Doran climbs from the Audi. They're telling him, bring the helmet with it. Liam not been on the podium for a while, so now everyone's have to tell him how to do it, Dan. Liam be really pleased with this result, won't he?
Oh, yeah, I mean, well, we could see as he came across the line, massive drift into this huge donut to just join the smoke of the fireworks we got here, so I'm sure Liam's over the moon.
Absolutely. Used to running his own cars. He's very open about the fact he doesn't enjoy running his own cars. He finds it stressful. He can't focus on the driving. So we know that EKS are facilitating the running of these Audis. I expect they were thinking that Bakkerud might be up at the front, and it's Liam Doran who's actually provided the first podium for the Monster Energy RX cartel. Timmy Hansen is down there as well, so what are they doing? Looking for Kevin, maybe? There you go, you can actually see the EKS staff in the background. Look, all down there on the right-hand side. And there's Andreas Bakkerud, in fact. I wonder if Bakkerud was spotting for Liam. He's got a headset on.
Yeah, it could be interesting. I mean, you know, these guys have worked together. It's not that, obviously we know it's not their first year together, so very familiar with each other, and you know, maybe Andreas was helping out.
Well, this is cool. They've opened the gates to let the crowd in, and the Yas crowd have obviously done this before because they're all waiting at the gates just to the left of our commentary position, getting the phones out, ready for a nice old Instagram story at the old podium. They're all running down to be in front of the 3 steps. In the background, look, photos going on for the start crew. And look at the marks we've left here too. Seriously, you know, sorry F1, we have left a few marks on the circuit here. Sorry, not sorry kind of thing.
Don't know about everyone else, but I'm certainly going to be looking out for it in the Formula 1 coverage.
Yeah, definitely. I guess they'll be gone by then, won't they? They don't come into the end of the year. Maybe we should come here a bit, you know, COTA, of course, where ARX last year with World RX, F1 was there not so long after. So I remember Tanner Fowles posted a picture saying, yeah, sorry, those are my donut marks on the F1 circuit. So, yeah, you know, we're claiming little bits of track here and there. Look, good weekend, Dan. We've had some controversy, and I think, as I say, stewards are either going to get involved or they're not. But I think the most promising thing is to see how many cars are on the pace.
Yeah, it is super close, and you know, I know you did an Instagram post earlier on in the weekend to say pick your winner, and well, it was such a mixed opinion, wasn't it?
Yeah, massively.
And I mean, the 2 favourites are obviously not here. So
the 2 favourites actually. So I would, you know, let's be honest. I think that most of the fans were saying that their 2 favourites were Timmy Hansen and Andreas Bakkerud. In familiar cars, they're the winningest drivers that we've had in the series. Neither of them have scored very well here at Yas Marina. The first podium of the year is good to go. You can see the 3 cars that are on it. Are they the 3 cars you were expecting to be on it? Niklas Gronholm has taken the win from Kevin Hansen and Liam Doran. We're going to hear from Niklas Gronholm first of all. Neil Cole has hot-footed it down to the podium. Son of the legendary Marcus Gronholm, but Niklas is in the spotlight now.
Niklas, congratulations, your first win in World Rallycross and the first round of the season. That must feel really good.
Yeah, it feels good. Honestly, after the semi-final, I didn't believe in it. Kevin was so fast, and I got the big hit, which I felt that I had something wrong with the left rear tire all the time, even though the lap times were quite good in the semi. So yeah, it's a relief, finally.
And that's it. Your name goes in the history books as the first winner here at Yas Marina as well.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Well done, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, Niklas has understated as ever. Just to let you guys know at home, we have got results under investigation on the timing screens. But as it stands, driver standings after round one. Niklas Gronholm on 29 points. Kevin Hansen was up for taking the perfect 30, but finishes second here. Janis Palmanis third. Then it's Scheider, Sabo, Markland, Doran and Timosyanov. Up onto the top step of the podium, Niklas Gronholm. He's really pleased. And do you know what? Kevin doesn't look too disappointed either. And Liam Doran up on the podium too. There we go. That's to anthem for a first win for Niklas Gronholm. Let's take a look at the team standings after round one. Okay, that's the driver standings again. We'll find it, don't worry. Team standings after round one of the World Rallycross Championship. It's GRX Tanako who are at the top of the table on 42 from Team Hansen MJP. I think Hansen MJP would have been a little bit higher if it hadn't been for the incident with Timmy. Gronholm holds up the winner's trophy. Stood next to him, Kevin, just beaten here. I say, it is under investigation according to the timing screen, so let's see whether or not that result gets turned around. Liam Doran, look, on the right-hand side of the podium, Dan, I think he looks a bit surprised to be there. A brilliant drive. I'll tell you what, he deserves it for the race with Timosyanov. Super clean racing to take that position and put himself in. Without that pass Liam made, he wouldn't have been. Look. There you go. He's a real character, Liam. You all know that at home. That's a great result for him. And that's, yes, that smile on his face tells you what you need to know. He loves this sport. He's a great driver. The Backward fans, I think, are actually giving him a bit of a cheer. So, Monster Energy girls handing out the champagne. There we go. Niklas takes a big glug. Fireworks are off. Non-alcoholic champagne here. Fireworks on the top of the podium for the first winner of a brand new season. So regardless of what happens here in terms of the final results, say if things get investigated, I think it's clear that we've got a fantastic season ahead of us. Round two will be in 3 weeks' time. Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for Catalunya RX, 27th, 28th of April. Make sure you're with us for that one too. Well, here is a look back at a fantastic weekend. The first time ever for the FIA World Rallycross Championship come to the Middle East. Yas Marina Circuit, or as we called it earlier this weekend, Yas Marina Circuit. We've seen some brilliant racing. We've seen some pretty crazy incidents as well. Yeah, maybe there'll be some changes next year. We'll see. First time running it, but we've seen some great racing. Dan Rook, look at the level. The level is right up there. We know the Peugeots were fast last year. We know the Audis were. That was the benchmark. In my opinion, some of the other drivers have come up to that point.
Oh, certainly, yeah. You know, we've got some of the privateer teams have managed to do their homework over the winter, and they've just brought themselves up, and we can see we've got a fantastic year ahead.
We have indeed. My thanks to Dan Rook and Neil Cole, of course, reporting from down in the paddock as well. This was the first final of the year. A little bit controversial, the contact between Gronholm and Kevin Hansen, but it was a great race. Look how close it was between them. How good is that I-20? What can Gronholm do? What can Timosyanov do as well? Well,
and Liam Doran doing the Audi. There's just a long, long list of people who might take a win. And as Dan said, that's going to make for a fantastic season's racing. Round 1 is done. Few slide wides. Kevin there, not too happy. Sorry, Timmy not too happy. Looking at Kevin, you can see his opinion of the incident. You find out soon enough the results. Check the old social media channels later on to find out what the final result is. But at the moment, Niklas Gronholm has etched his name onto an FIA World Championship trophy, just like his dad had before him. The focus now shifts to the new generation of drivers, and it shifts to a new generation of Rallycross stars as we head into the 2019 series. Round 1 is done. 3 weeks' time, we will be in Spain, and we're going to do it all again. We'll see you there.